Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shattered Earth, episode 64, Tower of Massus, part 2. Part 3? Part 3. That's what I'm looking for. Last time, you guys did a bit of gardening, I suppose. Uh, Climbed your way up through a maze and a summoning circle and discovered a little bit about um, whatever the person who had this tower was doing with their time. And freed a an angel person from their imprisonment. Last we left off. So
And
having having assumed his Empyrean knight form, Jakariel standing before you in the jail cell, um, regards you, gives you a bow, gives you his thanks, and motions. Well, I suppose we should continue then.
Yep, and I guess that means we're going to start going down the list of, well, I say going the list, going down the line, opening all the cells.
Lock every door. You guys can go around and open them as you see fit. Tell you what you see on the inside if there is something inside. Be my guest.
All right, next door. That one's empty. Ah,
Here,
skeleton.
yeah, here is another skeletal figure chained against the wall in a
Unfortunate.
restful position. Uh, as you regard the skeleton, see that's the button. See Jakariel kind of look into the cell and enter and kneel next to the skeleton for a bit. That cell that you just opened is empty next to it.
I assume that one is a friend of yours.
She was sister in arms. Now no more. Now, before you open this door, the feeling that you get just from being within the proximity of this cell is a familiar one. The the narrow hallway around you begins to kind of shift and tilt in ways that almost make you nauseous. This is a feeling that you felt before when you were being dragged from your own cell through to the torture chamber. Several times you were dragged past this cell. Felt the same thing.
Could I maybe make a Arcana history? Now that meant, or something to maybe kind of see if I can get a beat on what this might be.
Um, I would say Arcana. You can beat a pretty high Arcana check. I'll let you know. Okay. Um, it's a feeling of disorientation. Like you can feel just the ambient magical radiation about this room trying to muddle your mind and make random shit. A confusion, if not strong enough to really affect you to the point where you can't, fight it off and remain control of yourself while the door is shut. Who knows what would happen if you.
Well, uh, I suggest most of you might want to get ready. No telling what's happen when I open this door. Likely nothing pleasant. But on the off chance, it's not something trying to kill us. Any?
Do we want to? Do we want to open a different door and then come back to this one? Are there any others that we haven't gotten to yet?
Oh, there's plenty of those, but I suppose we can come back to it.
3 more doors you have not.
All right. Well, a funny feeling off this door.
No.
Ka-chunk.
This is a cell you remember. This used to be yours.
Yeah. Let's not go in there.
Nothing remains inside but a threadbare, soiled blanket. This one, you see the large, curled up form of your friend, Dalavash, huddled in the center of the room, almost taking up the entirety of the cell. His is a bit smaller than most, and he is a larger individual than most. Takes up a good amount of floor space here.
Wait, I'm alive?
He, as you open the door, his head turns to regard you, and you see him like a smile come across his face. It says, "So they let you out after all."
Well, in a manner of speaking.
About damn time you showed up. He stands up to his full height.
How does he look? I assume probably like emaciated and beat to shit.
He looks fine, as far as you can tell. You don't see any signs of cuts or bruises or anything on him.
They didn't torture him? Damn, huh? I guess I pissed them off royally.
So how did you get out?
They shoved me into. They cursed me, basically turned me into a monster, and then set me loose. And as a result, I wound up dying. But hey, I got better. I see. You certainly don't have a lot of the new scars that I do, but that's more of a blessing than anything else.
In looking over him, go ahead and make an insight check.
Oh,
no.
20 with a -1.
Oh,
The fact that he's not scarred at all is confusing to you at first, but then as you begin to regard him a little bit more, you see things are just a little bit off. Skin is sagging in places where it wasn't before. Smile is just a little wide and welcoming. And his voice doesn't quite sound like it used to. As he begins to kind of walk forward to leave the cell, he says, "Well, suppose we better get the hell out of here before they come back and lock us up again, huh?"
Delavash, do you remember the person we talked to before everything went to shit?
Tell you the truth, I don't remember a lot before this.
Remember, Delavash was when we fought the Iron Cross lady, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm certain you recognize my idol on here.
What, the dog?
Yes, I'm certain you recognize him.
Sure. I remember this guy.
Uh. Hmm. Okay. Give me a second to think. I need to think what to do here because I'm chance like 90. It's like 99% certain that this is not Dalavesh. This is an imposter.
He is sus.
There might be a simpler explanation than that.
Well, because here's the thing: Dalavesh has never met Fuego.
Yes, but like I said, there's a simpler explanation than that. Remember, Dalabash is a mercenary.
You said I noticed something a bit off about him.
Mhm.
Could I maybe try and latch out of that sensation, try and figure something out?
I mean, at 19 is really the best you can do. He begins to step out of the cell, kind of claps you on the shoulder. Says, well, I don't know if you have anything else to do, but I want to get the fuck out of here. And he begins to walk past you all, kind of down the hallway.
And he didn't look very versed aware, did he?
No. As far as you can tell, he wasn't injured at all.
Just one before Dalavesh gets too far away, like when he's like midway down the hall, so in eyesight. If you don't mind putting him back, so I can say this.
Scoot some people. I'm gonna move people around so that I can fit everybody in this fucking hallway. Narrow map we're up in.
You know, something I wondered, Dalavesh, how we were found so quickly. You wouldn't have know anything about that, would you?
No, I mean, why would I know?
Well, you see, during my time here, I was regularly poked, prodded, put on the rack. Wasn't a very pleasant time, all told. You hardly have a mark on you. And you've never met Fuego.
What are you talking about? I'm meeting him right now.
You said you recognized him.
Sure.
You've never seen him before today.
Look, I don't know what they did to your head, but sure. I mean, I remember this guy, right? Right, buddy? He turns to pet Fuego. Fuego's like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, master. Galvash just says, All right, whatever. They fucked with your brain, clearly. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. You coming or not? He gets to turn and walk down the hallway once again.
I am convinced, but I don't want to just attack the fucker. Be like, why are you making things difficult for me this early in the session, BG?
Where we left off last time.
It would happen sooner or later. I'm just.
And you're certain you don't remember who we talked to and what we did before everything went to shit?
I mean, I don't remember a lot. We were in the desert and then blacked out and then woke up here. Crazy lady talking to me. And it's just been me in that cramped fucking cell for months.
Months. No food, no water.
Well, I'm alive, aren't I? Obviously, they fed me something.
How's everyone else responding to this? Anyone else want to chime in here?
I never met the dude before, so I can't say.
Nobody knows him. It can't
This
except for
guy's
you.
this guy's a complete stranger to us. At least to me, definitely.
Lemmy, you're in a previous room, by the way, so you do not know what's going on down the hallway. Just been kind of standing by the door
Okay.
for a little while.
Is it open? Is it open? Can I hear what's going on, or is there like silence going on?
And you hear a conversation down the hallway, but can't make out the words
Okay.
from where you
Uh,
are. You and
Does the
Galet
angel
been
have
standing
anything
in
to
the
say
front of
here?
the foyer.
Mm.
It's a good point. Maybe been in the cell for however long. Comes out of the cell. Full Empyrean night regalia. Says, are we done looking through the cells? Are you satisfied?
No, we still have a few cells left, including the one with the weird, almost confusion aura. But well, we found one of our compatriots. That was lucky as well. Alavesh. I'll start checking. I'll check the other cells. And no one else.
Elvis is like, do it yourself. Am I good to go now? You done reading me the riot act?
Well, like, no, it's fine. Go. Don't go too far, though. We don't know what all's still here.
Begins to turn and walk down the hallway past everybody.
Oh, this is going to end in tears.
Unless anybody stops him, he's gonna go downstairs. He's gonna.
My character have no reason to stop him, so.
Actually, is he going?
Yeah, he's walking past you. You're currently
he's
at
going
the entrance to the
he's going
hallway.
past me as he comes through the door. Okay. But okay, so as he goes past me, I will attempt to make a sleight of hand roll, see if I can find any objects of interest that he's not guarding too closely on his person. That's pretty much it. See if there's something that he's got in his pocket. See if he's got something,
For the record, he is dressed in
Okay.
like burlap rags, so there's not much on him in the first place. You can certainly make a
Okay.
sleight of hand
Well,
check to see if there's
maybe I'll
anything.
find something.
Yeah, maybe he's hidden a shiv or something. Make a
Exactly.
make a stealth check first, and then a sleight of hand check.
Okay. All right. Try that. Hope that worked. Did that work? I don't even know. Yeah, it's been weird on me. So, yep, stealth.
As he kind of
Right.
shifts past you, you're able to slip a finger into the folds of his gown, as it were, and root
Okay.
around for anything. So go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
You don't find any objects hidden in the fold of his clothing.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing feels unusual or interesting to the touch. Good to know.
No.
Oh well.
Once he's out of earshot, Chance will look at the other stat. I am almost certain that either that's not Dalavash or Dalavash was not as loyal as he claimed.
Mm.
Don't suppose you, with your celestial stuff, I don't know too much about what your kind can do, had any particular insights?
I mean, I would assume that I met the person before. This is my first time coming across him. My time in these cells. By the boisterous nature, I can assume it's the one that kept cursing at them as he was dragged through the hallway to the torture room.
But he had hardly a mark on. He didn't have a mark on him.
Well, I don't have a mark on me, though my countenance is divine, mundane. Did he carry the same kind of spark? You knew him?
Not that I know. I've seen him fight.
Well, it's a curiosity. Much we know.
Let's just keep on your toes. May say what you will, the source of my instincts, but tell me right now something is very off about him.
Yep.
And now, let's open this door. Last one on the set. Because the one at the very bottom of there that I opened was empty.
There are two more you have not.
Well,
There's the one right in front of you, and then there is
that one still
down
pinged is
here.
locked.
Right. I forgot to unlock it. That is a door that you could unlock and open if you wished. This one, as you kind of swing open the door, leads onto a small stone platform with a winding staircase that kind of goes like a quarter of the way around the room down to a very large central chamber, inside of which is a very wide circular metal grate with a hatch on one end. The metal bars are, as rusty as they are, seem to be made of different material than the other doors in these locations. And you hear, as you kind of swing open the door and let light fill the chamber,
Oop.
you hear this low kind of come from the pit in the center of the room.
All right, we can look at that in a second. I don't actually. I don't suppose you have an idea what's in here. as I said, my memories of this place are muddled.
They didn't let me out my cell, unless they wished to torture me. Although, from the noises that thing is making, seems hungry. That's the sound that it would make when they drug other prisoners through here. And whatever they did, they never came back.
Ah, so this was their disposal method.
Quite possibly. I won't lie. There were days when I both dreaded and looked forward to seeing what was inside this room.
You are a very peculiar celestial.
Now, I imagine he's been tortured for a lot longer than I have, and you saw what happened. What happened to me after just 8 months of it.
Yes, made you cranky.
I'm fairly certain with what they've done to me, I am responsible for the deaths of several innocents that I will never be able to scrub from my conscience, despite technically having no hand in it.
I apologize. I will try to brighten the mood a little bit. I was told that jokes makes better. Apparently, I failed.
Mortal sense of humor is evasive to me. But if you say so.
But we can deal with the contents of this room in a moment. I would rather not have an unknown at our backs. So over here. This is if the confusion effect here is any indication. When I open this door, it's likely to be something interesting. So be wary.
Mm.
And Chance will open the door. Oh!
Yeah. The minute you do, the waves of confusion begin to hit you and radiate throughout the chamber. What is this thing's radius?
You shouldn't
25
have
feet.
opened that door.
Pretty sure that is every.
I shouldn't have opened the door. But again, I'd rather not have an unknown at our back.
Yeah. So everybody in this hallway. So we're going to go ahead and roll initiative right now. Turn order, and then on your turn, everybody will make a intelligence saving throw.
I'm good at those. Watch me fail them.
Stop this, and let's do this.
Something I feel I have to ask: does what does our angel friend do in combat? Because I know he might have like some aura shenanigans. Because Celestials have a tendency to have that.
I mean, you don't know. You know that he was able to armor himself and give himself a longsword. That is the extent
Yeah,
of your knowledge.
I'm more just asking if I need to worry about any modifiers, anything I'm doing on my turn.
I don't believe so. I think it's mostly just himself.
Like if there's like a fucking paladin aura, I need to be aware of that.
Nope. Nope. Nothing that you need to be aware of.
Alright.
He's a cheapskate. Got it.
My Roll20 sheet itself gave me a few.
Good for people.
Am I? And the internet's not working. Great.
Am I outside the confusion area? I'm kind of over here in this corner out past the door.
You're further down the hallway, so you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. But if I'm not affected by the confusion aura, I need to know. So I don't know.
You are not.
Or the confusion effect.
No.
I don't know how far.
You're not affected.
Okay.
You're,
all right.
You're without you're outside of the range of.
Okay. All right.
So how's y'all's day been?
This, so far, is how my day's been. Alrighty, so capping off initiative at the top,
Eventful.
we have, let's see, Limestone.
Okay.
You have just watched Dalavash exit the room down the stairs. And make a perception check for me.
Okay, I'll try. Sorry, it's being kind of funny on me. A lot of laggy stuff. I had to open up my character sheet in a new tab, which I don't usually have to do, but whatever. Let's see. Normal perception. Let's see if that works. Okay. All right.
Just kind of standing around. You don't really pick up anything yet that would draw alarm.
Okay. All right. Just with where I am, I personally find it very suspicious that whoever this strange person was didn't even have anything worth taking on him. So I kind of don't trust people who don't have it. Yeah, hey, I don't know that. I just know that some guy walked past me and didn't even have a cent on him that I could find. Nah, I don't trust that. So I am probably going to stay right where I am, and I will attempt to cast Minor Illusion in my space. I will attempt to just cast a featureless stone block, 5 by 5 by 5 feet. That's going to be where I am, and I will attempt to bonus action hide, using that as cover.
Okay.
So
crouching and clipping inside of this.
You know, that's what I'm doing. I don't have to crouch. It's taller than me by like 2 feet.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just standing there with a block around me.
Yeah. Just no clipping.
The eventual plan may be to, if something. No. There's none of that. There's just a stone. There's a stone block. It's it's what it is. So, I'm just doing that. So for the next minute, there's an illusion of a stone block in the space where I am right here, and I'm gonna bonus action hide. So I guess a stealth roll to see if I can hide from whatever might be around, and then I'm gonna end my turn. So.
Okay.
I guess you could say it's your
That's
space.
it for now.
Yeah. So first roll me the stealth check, and then ping Minor Illusion in chat for me.
Okay. And sorry, it's taking a bit of gymnastics to get back and forth here that I'm not used to. All right. I don't know why. It's being really funny on me. So,
Roll 20.
Like when I brought up the character sheet when I brought up the character sheet, it wouldn't let me change the size, which was a problem because it blotted out everything else. So I had to open it in a new tab and yada yada yada. So all right, should be this. Come here, you. Okay, that should come up, and that's going to be. I think that's my turn for now. There's not much else I can do. So I am here. I don't know if this is something I could do, but yeah.
Okay.
I might whisper.
What I was looking for is the end sentence there, where it says, "If a creature discerns the illusion for what it is, the illusion becomes faint." So at least you can see out of it is what I was trying to do. You didn't just put yourself in a stone box, So you can see what I'm getting at is you can see out of it at the very least. So that's important to know.
Yeah, I know it's an illusion, so I don't. Do I have to roll for that? I don't know.
No. You know already that it's an illusion. I'm making sure that when you craft the illusion, it doesn't interfere with your perception, which it doesn't. So you should be fine.
Okay.
16 stealth. I will keep that.
That was the. Thank you.
Okay. Nothing else. I will go ahead and move on to Chance. So Chance, go ahead and make me an intelligence saving throw, please.
All right.
Yeah, I think you're fine. 28 saves pretty hard.
Giga brain.
Yeah. The one time intelligence saving throws are cool. All right, so you're okay. You are able to shake off the effects of the confusing aura that this creature is emitting, and get a better look at it. So what you're kind of seeing as you kind of shake off this thing and really look closer at this creature, it looks like the creature in the token, but its skin is like a light red, similar to yours, and it has two horns curling from its brow. They kind of, twist and curl up above its head.
Well, shit, this is probably a Flamora. Question, can I do a move and an action at the same time to kind of do something here?
Yeah. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't be able.
Because the idea I have is to send out a fireball and close the door as it's going out, so that way I don't get get caught in the AoE.
I mean, so Fireball is an instantaneous spell, right?
Yes, but the projectile still has travel time.
It's an instantaneous spell, meaning when you cast it, it happens. So order of operations is important in this instance. If you had delayed blast Fireball, that would be one thing.
Yes, the 7th level spell.
Yeah, this is a regular Fireball, so...
Yeah, fair enough. That's why I asked if I could do the thing I wanted to do before I said anything.
Yeah, it depends on the thing you want to do, and unfortunately, that's not something... You can't just, chuck it in and close the door real quick. It doesn't work like that.
It'd be nice, but no.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a thing you could do.
Should be, but... Oh, I just realized how that sounded. That was not a dig at you, for the record. I was just...
That's fine. Do whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah. Honestly, I could just close the door and not fight it, but I get the feeling if this is what I think, if Chance's hunch is correct, well, putting out its misery is probably the first step to actually saving whoever this person used to be. I guess... Can I kind of squeeze into here, or...
Sure. If your token fits there, you can squeeze in. For all intents and purposes, the creature's, up against the wall.
And, well...
No. In retaliation. 15?
Oh, no.
15 to hit? Yeah, okay. Takes a swipe out at you as claws, but you manage to just narrowly avoid it in this cramped cell that you found yourself in.
Also, it doesn't matter because it doesn't. Because for some reason, Flame doesn't start scaling. It doesn't start getting more damage until you start spending 4th level spells. Yeah, but yeah, I'm at a 2nd level, so I'm gonna cast it at 3rd level.
No worries. You're holding concentration on that. Anything else you wish to do on your turn? It did use its reaction to try and swipe at you, so you could back out if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm gonna move over to here and make it come to me.
Okay. It will do just that on its turn. So
it also puts it at better range to getting hit by my friends.
Sure. So, whipping around, swiping at you, and then skittering towards you with an unnatural speed, it goes ahead and it's going to take 3 swipes. It's going to basically reach its many clawed fingers through the doorway and scratch at anything it can reach. So it's going to do 2 on you and 1 on the Empyrean Knight above you. 2. We have a 21 to hit and a natural 1. So 21 hits first, I'm assuming, unless you have some way to block that.
Even if I pop shield, that just makes my AC 21, so.
Okay. So 19 points of slashing damage, and I need you to make another intelligence save.
I'm good. The con save afterward was for concentration.
Yeah. That's fine by me. And nothing else happens. And then the natural 1 happens, so you do get a reaction attack, and so does the Imperial Knight.
But, okay.
Uh, 10 is a no. I'm gonna go ahead and swipe with Ariel.
I just can't seem to hit shit today.
Sword. Another natural 1.
It just started.
Slash miss. And it's going to go ahead and take another swipe at Jakariel from the natural 1 that he rolled, because it's his turn and he got his action back. That's 10, so that misses. And then the actual attack on Jakariel is a 21 to hit, which does hit.
You already rolled it, though. You said it was 1 on me, 1 on him, right?
It was 2 on you, 1 on him, but I didn't roll the 1 for him yet. The first one that I rolled was a 10, and that was for the reaction, and then this next one is the one that was supposed to hit him in the first place. So that's 13 points of slashing damage to Jakariel. Jakariel has to make an intelligence saving throw. Yes, and he has advantage on this. 20, he's fine. Okay. Perfect, so that is the creature's turn.
Yeah, I'm glad he passed that, because him getting memory befuddlement would probably not be good.
Yeah, thank God for magic resistance, right? Okay, David, you are up. You see Chance run in and then run out just as quickly, and you see like these all too familiar, like, spindly arms and kind of like spider-like head begin to like poke out and like gnash out at things from beyond the doorway. It does have cover from you currently in your current position. If you were to do any kind of ranged attack, it would have 3/4 cover.
It's a bit. You're like, oh no, not again! Not these fucks.
You do recognize the shape of this creature, though the skin tone and horns are a new feature that you are aware of. For token purposes, I'm going to put Fuego there.
Okay. Now he's in a firebolt.
Yeah.
That is similar. Wait. Firebolt.
Cover.
Ah.
3/4
15?
plus 5. So, no. With cover, he just manages to duck out of the way of the firebolt as it goes slamming into the doorway instead.
No power there. End turn.
Alright. Fuego.
Alright, well, shit. Good thing he's got reach. Would he have a clear line from here or from here?
Well, there he can't really get to it because it's like around a corner, so you'd have to go one space over at the very least. And you could snap at him. His head comes out like a snapping turtle. Hey, nice for 20. Very nice. That is 14 points of damage to the creature. Oh my god.
The duality of man! But he has no. One doesn't have reaction, 2, he doesn't have reach.
Yes, exactly. Okay, perfect. Well, actually, he does have reach, but it doesn't matter because he did use his reaction. I do need him to make an intelligence save. I also need David to make an intelligence save.
Okay.
I assume devotion doesn't matter here, so I'm just gonna roll it. No.
Well, actually, well, it might. Hold on. Depends on what.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think he made it.
What did you roll? 7?
A 14? Oh,
Is it advantage on stuff? Is that what I give it? Or is it just more stuff?
It gains all advantage on those creatures, and it has funny memory shit, which I really don't like.
Okay. In that case, go ahead and roll me a d10.
Why D10?
For the effect that the aura has.
It says a D6 on the law, or is that a different thing?
You're thinking of something different. This is the confusion spell.
Oh,
So
yeah.
1 through 10.
My bad. Six.
Okay, perfect. Alright. Keep that in mind. Because I'm doing this kind of out of order. That is going to be the result for his next turn if he fails the save. Now, he gets to make a wisdom saving throw to see if he can get over it. Okay, so we'll make the intelligence roll again at the end of his next turn, or the beginning of his next turn. David, make me a wisdom saving throw as well.
Oh, does the 17
Okay.
not pass, or does the 17 pass?
17 does pass, yeah. The DC is 15 for this. It's an intelligence save to avoid it initially, and then a wisdom save to overcome it. Okay, so David's fine as well. Don't worry about that on the next turn. Let's pop out over here because I'm going to use it many times through this battle, I'm assuming. Fantastic. Moving on. Valerian. Intelligence saving throw, please.
I am good.
Roll a
Wait,
d10.
hold up.
Five. You do not move or take actions this turn.
I end my turn.
Sounds good. Make a wisdom saving throw for me as well. See if you can overcome it.
Why are you not showing up?
I'm assuming it's going to roll like 3 different wisdom saving throws in the chat.
No, it shouldn't. I just clicked on it once and I'm just bitching about it afterward.
24. You're fine. Okay, so at least you're not affected by this at the start of your next turn.
Nice.
Isn't it?
Thank you.
Fantastic. Jacariel is turn. He has to roll a intelligence save to avoid it as himself. Intelligence, advantage. Natural 20. Fantastic.
Do we have to make the save every turn, or is it like once we pass it, we're good?
It is every turn. And technically it lasts until the end of your next turn. But the spell specifically says at the end of your turn you can roll a wisdom saving throw to avoid the effect. So I'm giving you many tries to avoid it altogether.
Yeah, I'm asking because like I made the intelligence, the initial intelligence save. I was wondering, do I have to keep making that save every turn?
Yeah. It is one of the big things about this creature is that intelligence saving throws are made all the time, and if you fail, you're confused. Well, the first attack, 17, definitely hits for 33 points of damage total. I don't think this thing has any kind of weird... Does it? Not to these things, so 33 points of damage later. And then the 13, unfortunately, misses on the second strike as he steals himself for the next round. Xenivore is up.
He's good. Does he need to make an intelligence save?
Yes.
But it's just, is it going to end well? It ended pretty well.
Intelligence saving throw, 15. That is just enough to pass, so you are good to go.
Swing. 1, 2.
Nice. So the 12 doesn't make it, but the 24 does. 5 points of slashing damage. Fantastic.
Then move back over here and turn.
Okay. Look, guys, I remembered Galay. DC's a little bit lower now. You hear the sounds of battle down the corridor. So, with that perception check being that it is, what's the speed? 55? So, 20, 35. He's going to attempt to shove the creature back so he can get into the room behind it. Athletics check. Tested by the creatures. We're going to go with acrobatics. Fine. Nope. Creature gets pushed back here. Galay takes a couple steps into the room. And that is his turn, I believe. I don't think he can do anything else. Did not take the attack action, so we're just going to leave that as it is. Lemmy, Galay's ears perked up while you were kind of hiding inside of your stone, and you begin to hear the sounds of combat down the end of the hallway as Galay goes sprinting off to go deal with whatever that is.
Okay. All right, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm. All right, good deal. All right, I am going to attempt to move 10 feet. So I'm gonna try moving 5 here to the door frame. Let's see. I'm seeing if I see anything through it from here. I don't know if I see anything hostile from where I am. Doesn't look like it. I'd probably move another 5 to go through the door frame. Let's see. Should be right there. Still don't see anything but another 5 here. So that's 15 of my movement. And yeah.
Don't quite see anything yet.
Okay. You know what? I am probably going to ready an action. If I see something hostile coming at me, I am going to attempt, like something I haven't seen before that's coming at me aggressively. I would ready casting of probably Mind Sliver to go at it. So yeah, I'm going to hold my action. So if something hostile gets where I can see it, I'm going to attempt to cast Mind Sliver on it. That's it. So, and okay. I don't know what else to do. So end turn.
Will do. So, that is your held action for the turn. Chance, you are up. Intelligence saving throw, please. You are perfectly fine.
Wait, why did it move back?
Galay shoved it on his turn to get into the room with it, so there's more room to fight. Fortunately, a 13 does not hit.
Can I hit something? Please!
Apparently not. Unfortunately, no. Okay. Tis the Whisperer's turn. He's going to go ahead and take his 3 attacks against you two. Or I guess her in this case, wouldn't it be? And do 3 attacks. Let's see, how are we distributing these? Let's see. Let's do a 50-50. See who gets more attacks. Chance you're sub 10, Galay's above 10. Rolled a 19. So Galay's getting 2 and you're getting 1. 2 on Galay. That is natural 1 again. So let's do that first. If you want to take your reaction, go for it. Galay is going to take his. I'm going to do an unarmed strike.
Oh, I can...
It's damage.
Come on!
It's so bad. Oh my god. Well, okay.
Where'd it go? If I get one more nat 1, I'm leaving.
It rolled another natural 1 to try and hit you on its reaction. So. Wow, these are bad. These are really, really bad and awful and sad for me and you and everyone here at the table. All right. Well, I gotta roll one more. Natural 20 on chance.
Of course!
So it's 18 points of slashing damage, and then you need to make another int save. You're fine.
Also fine.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
Perfectly balanced in all things.
It's like it's the creature's gangly and it's like its unwieldy arms are like when they swipe out towards you, they're like hitting stone and scraping off before they can actually get to you. It's like deflecting its attacks. There's not a lot of room to move inside this cell, so it's causing people to swing and miss in many different ways. Okay, David. You do not see the creature yet on this turn, so you do not have to make the intelligence save until you do.
Okay. He's gonna cast Cure Wounds on himself at 3rd level.
Okay.
Where are you? There you are.
Sure.
I'll take it.
Anything else on your turn?
No.
Okay. Fuego.
Alright, Confuse. D10.
Yep. Well, you can't see it yet, can he? From where he's at?
I don't think so, no.
Is he going to go in there and attack it?
Yes?
It didn't see the token move, so I'm going to assume it's there, right?
No, here.
Okay. Okay, roll your d10 for me.
Two.
Does not move or take actions this turn.
Well, I already
Yes.
moved, so Lamau.
Well, it's when you see him, so it would be right about there that you would take on the confuse effect anyway. All right, Valerian. You shake off the effects of the confusion, right? What are you bubbling me about? Oh, the 7. Nope. We will try that again on the next turn. Valerian, you have shaken off the effects of the previous confusion. And you see that most of your companions have piled into that cell.
But why?
I don't know.
We just want to kill this thing, right?
It seems like the prevailing theory.
Moira.
Sure. I like that spell. I took that spell on my Oathbreaker Paladin in my Sunday games. What's the plan? We're doing Toll the Dead on the creature? I saw an arrow point at Jakari also.
Yep. I was just making sure the Spirit Shroud is within range.
Got it, yeah. No problem.
Actually, that doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't on
Yes.
Toll the Dead.
Yeah.
And you also, if you're going to see the creature, you need to make me the intelligence save. Okay, you're fine.
Can I do some other spell?
Yeah. No problem.
There we go.
Sure. 21 will still hit it even without cover. That is...
And
Is that
it
extra
does-
3 there? Yeah, that's Spirit Shroud.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's 9 points of necrotic damage, yeah?
Yep, and if it has resistance to necrotic, ignore it.
Yeah, it does not. It only has 1 resistance. It is not necrotic. Sounds good to me. Fantastic. So 9 points of damage later. It also is that the one that prevents it from healing too?
That's the chill touch.
Right, that's what you casted.
And
Cannot
this
regain
is
hit points
spirit-
until starting next turn. Fantastic. Just keeping that.
And the Spirit Shroud also makes it so 10...
It loses 10 feet of movement.
Yep.
You got it. Fantastic. Alrighty. Jakariel, on his turn, he's going to move inside the cell, make the intelligence save. Vintage. 17. Fantastic. He's going to take his 2 shots. That's the creature. 23 hits for 31 points of damage. As he comes down, his longsword, every time he slashes with it, it leaves a trail of this like pale yellow light behind it.
What path did he take?
Well, what?
How did he get there?
He flew over Fuego and into the room.
So wouldn't that mean that's within my reach?
Why would
For
you want
Jakariel?
that, the angel?
Jakariel's a friendly. Are you?
No, my.
I mean,
Apparently, I am on drugs.
yeah, it's I don't know what you were thinking, but
Yeah,
you
I
could
got a
affect him if you wanted to consider him an enemy, I suppose.
Chance will call. This is I'd put a rather large sum of gold on the fact this is likely a cursed man with a skull spot, so try not to kill them too hard.
Meanwhile, the angel flies in. Meet my blade, creature! Slashes at him.
Yeah, that Chance says that in response to the probably the deep slash he just put in that thing.
Lemmy, what's your passive perception?
I'll let you know. All right, trying to get through to it. It is being very roll 20 today. So, all right, let's see. 17.
Okay. So, you do not hear...
Do I need to...
As behind you comes the sneaking form, the person that went downstairs. It's his turn in initiative now.
Uh-huh.
And you feel a pair of large hands grab you and spin you around, and you see the otherworldly smiling face of this Dalavash character split open into a 3-pronged maw as it attempts to latch onto you.
Oh my!
He's gonna try and slam you first.
Can I roll acrobatics to resist?
So I'll tell you in a second. So he's gonna roll the hit first. He has advantage on the first one.
Okay.
I should roll these in the chat so we have public viewing. Thank you. Roll 20.
Okay. Let me go back to.
My
right, let's
snatcher of.
see.
So it's a 16 and a 21 to hit.
I am casting shield as a reaction. You better believe it. So
Okay. You have a 22
let's
AC.
see, and that'll boost it. I'll go burn the spell slot. So
All right. So as this thing attempts to slam you to the ground and disorient you, you put up your magical bubble, and it is pounding against the shield. And you can hear this crazy screech come from down the hallway, just as it tries to get through to you, unable to at the moment.
Fuego, go!
Alrighty, so that is what's going on with him at the moment. Xenovor is up next.
Xenovor can't just see this bullshit. It's like, oh dear gods, and goes swings at this motherfucker.
Oh my. I do say, that's not very nice. Sure, 13 and a natural 20. I'll take it. 13 does miss, but the natural 20 obviously hits for 19 points of slashing damage. Tokens here. 19 points of damage.
That moves back in space, so take that opportunity attack if you want it.
He will. As he turns his attention to you, and as you move backwards, he's going to take one more slam attack against Xenovor. It's 21 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 11 points of bludgeoning damage, and he needs to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Give me 1 moment to add the damage. Xenovor. And did he make that save?
He did.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
21. Okay. So you do not manage to get grappled, thankfully, but you do take damage from the slam, as his arms extend a little bit further than they really should to pound into you. Xenovor moves back to wherever he's going, and it is Galet's turn. So Galet, focused on the other creature inside the cell, going to finally do attacks. So I'm going to do 2 blades and a
Intelligence save.
monk unarmed strike. Is extra attack, yes?
Cough, insane. Cough, cough.
Oh, that's right. He needs to make the intelligence saving throw. I think he has any bonuses to this, but D10. 5. It does nothing. Excellent. Wisdom save. 16. So he's fine for next turn. Lemmy, as you put up your bubble and are reeling at the sudden surprise attack by this creature wearing Dalavash's skin, it is your turn.
Yes, wearing it so convincingly. Yes. Okay, I am going to. Let's see. I can't get through his space, right? Because he's a hostile creature.
Exactly.
I can't go behind him. Okay. Well, right where I am, I will. Yeah, I think I'll just use my. I'll use my action to cast Mirror Image. I will cast that on myself right here. So,
all right.
Try to make it as difficult as possible for him, and I'll ping it in chat if you need it. So let me just put that guy over there. Here. Okay.
Fantastic. We'll keep that in mind.
All right. Burning the spell slot, and let's see. I don't really know what else I can do. You know what?
If you use it.
Yeah, I could still move, and I kind of want to move away from the thing that's trying to kill me. So
It doesn't have a reaction.
Seems like a good
anymore, so you
idea.
can't do that.
He doesn't want to kill you. He just wants to give you a hug.
He
Sure.
wants to give you a hug and a
Hug.
kiss.
Yeah. Not so much. Okay, I will try to move. Let's see. I guess we're here. I don't know if he blocks me or not. I'd probably go to like right in front of Xenivore right here. It's about 15,
Yeah, that's fine.
something like that. Oh,
You can
sure. Let's call that. Let's call that good.
All right, sounds good to me.
And I and three little copies of me kind of run past. I don't really know.
Are you going to
what
hang out
else
in the
I would
hallway,
be
or are you
doing
going to duck in
here?
somewhere?
So yeah,
and try to hide?
I think I'm.
You do still have your bonus action if you want to use it.
You know what? I am. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could. Is this cell next to me open?
Yeah, door's open.
The cell door just next to me.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I'd probably attempt to go in there and bonus action hide. So
Okay.
let me see if I can move. This is being glitchy as all get out. So okay, yep, I am in there and I am attempting to bonus action hide. Let me eventually get over to things. And it is slow today. Okay, where are you at?
All right, so while you do that,
Okay,
Chance, go ahead and make your
easy.
intelligence save for 22.
Sorry,
You're good
I'm
to go.
just.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll that whenever you're ready, and I'll just keep that in mind once it's in chat, and then go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm going as my
Normal
movement action.
stealth.
I'm gonna close that door.
Okay.
I'm
Reach
sneaking.
over
I'm
and shut the door.
sneaking. We're trying to.
Which breaks the confusion aura from affecting Fuego any further.
It wouldn't affect him on his next turn, unless he were to open the door.
Yep, that's the goal. I want him. No, I don't want to have to risk another intelligence save.
Well, wait, did he make his wisdom save at the end of the last turn?
No.
Okay, so he would still be affected at the start of his next turn.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Nat 20.
Finally, it pays off. Okay, so
And I get to reroll that one.
yes, you do. Oh, even better. So that's +4 to whatever this is. So that is 13 and 9 is 22. +4 is 27. +3
And if
is
it
30
has
points.
resistance to fire, no, it doesn't.
It does not know. 30 points of damage, though, is a monstrous amount. That's half of what it has left. All right. As you thrust your flame blade, finally connecting with the creature and leaving a fairly large scorch mark across its skin. This creature not as resistant to fire as you remember Flamora being. Alrighty. That's your turn. Then 'tis the Dream Whisperer's turn next. He's going to make one attack against each of the people in the cell with it. 3. So, from left to right, 9 to hit Jacario misses, 17 to hit Chance.
Shield.
Okay. And natural 20 to hit Galay for 21 points of damage. And Galay needs to make an intelligence save.
So like briefly, Chance goes from being a nerd to having sword and board.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that is the creature's turn. That is all it can do. Just for flavor-wise, it's not going to change where its space is at all, but it's going to like skitter up the wall and hiss at you. David?
Is it a bonus action or action for the potion?
It's a bonus action if you have it readied. If not, then it's an action to find it and drink it.
He's gonna find and drink a potion.
Okay.
Yeah, I did this. So the idea was that you guys could go for the body snatcher currently.
Yeah.
7 points of healing. Plus 2d4 plus 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So 9 points. Fantastic.
Oh. fuck was that?
I don't know. You took away 18 hit points somehow. So 19 plus 9 is 28.
Yeah.
There you go.
I actually opened up the code of Roll 20.
Somehow, just open up the source code of the webpage.
Yes. And moving here. Enter.
Okay. Fantastic. Where you go?
All right, an int save.
Yeah. Well, no, it's still affected, so it just rolls the d10.
Oh, then I rolled.
Yeah,
Okay.
it only needs to make the end save if it's within line of sight. It did roll a 10,
9.
so he can move and act normally this turn.
I didn't roll a 10. I rolled a 9.
We both. It's the same thing. You rolled a 9, I rolled a 10. They're both the same thing. It's you can move and act normally on this turn anyway.
All right. Let's see. Yeah.
4 shots. 15 to hit. Nice, just made it. So both attacks hit for a total of 14 points of damage. As Fuego bites into this facsimile of Dalavash, he's ripping it like a chew toy, and you can see or Xenivore at least can see. I don't know if anyone else has a line of sight on the thing, but the skin is almost like a rubber suit, like it stretches unnaturally and gets shaken around before it tears.
Yeah, I can see from where I am. Ugh, gross.
Yeah, not fun. Not a fun visual. But that is Fuego's turn for now. Valerian.
I suppose they got everything handled inside the room, so I'm gonna try to go down the hallway.
You hear Hanna-Barbera tussle noises through the door.
Yeah, I figured Galay, I, and the fucking angel had the thing handled, so we wanted to.
Hey, Delavan!
20 to hit. Fantastic. Is that 8 there or no?
Yes, Spiritual Shroud is still up.
Oh, that's Spear Shroud. I forgot. Fantastic. Cool. So 18 points of damage to him. Very nice. Cannot regain hit points. As your
And slow 10
spectral
feet.
skeletal hand reaches out and necrotizes pieces of the skin suit that this thing is wearing. All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
Cool. Cariel on his turn. Hit save advantage. Oh, nice. Okay. At least he saved with a 20. 2 attacks. Die, abomination!
Did he hear a word Chance said about Chance saying, like, hey, he said, he's like, hey, this is probably a cursed member of the Scholar's March. Let's try not to kill it too hard.
If he does, he doesn't care, because the attack damage does 33 points of damage and brings it down to 0 and kills it.
I mean, it needed to die regardless, because like this is the kind of curse where you kind of have to kill the thing in order to undo it.
So you watch as first swipe misses, the creature goes out to retaliate, and Jakariel whips his sword around in a flourish and stabs it right up through the head and the brain, causing it to flail around on the end of his sword before curling up like a spider on the floor, completely dead.
Okay,
With his movement, he's going to open the door, and he has got 60 feet of fly speed, so he can zoom off down the hallway here.
Can I maybe think of make an Arcana to see like what it might
He'll
take?
fly past
or-
everybody and just go into the other cell where he used to be.
So I think it might be to bring Flamora back as Flamora and not as this fucking thing.
You can, but not in the heat of battle, unless you want to on your next turn.
Okay.
The skin suit that once was Dalavash is going to take his turn. He is going to. He's going
And
to
before
try
we
and go
find
for
out, the thing at the
Jakariel.
bottom of that pit is fucking Tavanta.
Let's see, 2 slam attacks. He's really trying to grapple somebody, so he's going to try and hit Jakariel. Fuego is not something he can deal with.
Does Jakaria leave his threatened space?
No, it's on
this
Dalvash's turn. Yeah. So 17 and 19 to hit. His AC is 20, so those both miss completely. Jakario ducking out of the way, moving side to side. That is the skin suit's turn. Xenivore is up next.
Xenivore? This is gonna her attempt to swing.
Go for it. (23) and 15 both hit. 12 and 7 is 19 points of damage total. Very nice.
And move back over here.
You're seeing as you slash and bite through the skin and cause injury to this creature that it's not even bleeding. It's like ripping holes in a rubber costume. Just no blood on the inside. You do see through the wounds this like Icarus ooze-like substance that is filling the skin suit and giving it form, but it is not bleeding as a normal creature would. Ballet, from his place in the cell, is going to book it. 55 feet of movement he's going to try, so that's 25, 35. Here, let's see, he can go 25 here, and since there's not a lot of room in this hallway, he'll just go ahead and throw darts, I guess. We don't have an attack on his thing, but I'm pretty sure darts are just daggers, so +7. That's a 9 that misses, and that's a 20, so that'll hit a natural 20. Or 1d4. 4. 5 points of piercing damage. Okay. And that'll be his turn for now, as he's just readying more darts to chuck down the hallway. Lemmy, your turn is up.
I am attempting to move. Okay, and it looks like I can see him for sure from where I am, so I will attempt to target the Dalavash thing. Let's see.
So
I think I'll probably try with Ray of Frost. Huh?
I was going to say, because of the curvature of the hallway, I'm going to give him partial cover on this.
Yeah,
He has +2 to his AC.
Okay, you know what? Actually, because of the dodgy angle on this, because I'd only be getting a corner of him, I think I'll attempt to do magic missile on him. Nah,
Okay.
that just seems safer. So, because I don't want to hit a friend by mistake, and it seems like I've done that a few times. So, let me eventually get over to where launch it at him. All right, come here, you. Eventually through the spells. There we go. It's not going fast. All right, come here. Over there.
I should learn the
Hope that works.
the incantations
Okay.
from Baldur's Gate. Say them when I cast my spells sometime. I think if I remember correctly, like the phonetics of magic missile are like ex homine or some shit like that, and they chuck missiles at things.
Mm. Okay, and yeah, I'm just gonna cast that at first level, and 1d4 plus 1 times 3. So I just do
You can do 3d4 times 3.
3d4 plus 3, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
We could just roll the spell 3 times if you have.
doing. Yeah, just let me just roll real quick. Come here, you. Come on. All right. Sorry, this is not going fast. All right. 3d4. Okay.
Cool. So 11
And
points
then-
of damage.
I guess. Yeah, to that guy. So, all right.
Fantastic. You watch as the missiles like punch into him and beat him around. You watch the skin suit like jiggle like a waterbed for a minute before reforming.
Pew pew pew. All right.
Alrighty, Chance, you're up.
And
Unless Lemmy's gonna do other
Yeah.
things.
that's me.
You want to move back and try and hide again? Or no?
Yeah, I think I'll just move around the corner and try to hide from him, just where he can't see me. So, just kind of down to do it here. So, yeah, he shouldn't be able to see me there. So, I'm around the corner. I am attempting to bonus action hide. Come here, you. So, is anybody else having trouble with this today? I don't know. It seems extra roll 20 today. So, I don't know.
I think.
All right, come on,
David was
come
having
on.
trouble,
Yeah, my Wi-Fi crashed.
All right, here we go.
Sure.
All right, I
disappear
am
from
rolling
sight.
to not be seen where I am. So.
No, this is an absolute waste of a high level spell. But Chance, upon seeing that this monster is wearing the face of a friend and confirming suspicions, Chance is a little angry. So, Dimension Door.
Or. Here's right behind him.
You wear the face of a friend, and you had the gall to lie to my face. Quaint. Now die.
Alright.
That's unfortunately all I can do on my turn.
Yeah, D-Door's in action, unfortunately. But since it has a couple targets now, Dream Whisperer is dead, so we're going to remove that from initiative. David.
Fireballs.
Sure. He's going to have partial cover from being around the corner.
Yep.
This is a 17. Oh, you're fine. 15 points of fire damage, easy.
I'm gonna move back here.
Cool. Excellent. Ignis! Fuego.
Nom nom.
Tastes like jello! 20 points, 22 easily. 10 points of damage.
Minimum damage both times.
Hey, 10 damage is 10 damage. He's starting to look a little bit weathered. Skin suit's certainly got some holes poked in it. This is like Halloween costume from 2 years ago that you refused to get a new one for. Alright. Valerian. Four definitely hits. Wrong thing. There we go. 15 points of damage. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Now that's a lot of damage. 15 points. Very nice. Taking chunks.
Yes, but it's not the damage that matters. It's the debuffs.
Oh yes, the debuff, so can't heal and as penalty to movement, which
Movement's reduced to 20 at this point. Permanently, as long as Valerian's within range. Okay, anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Cool. Cariel. His holy longsword. 2 swipes. Yeah, 24 both times for 22 and 25 damage. So 47 damage is enough to enough to cut the skin suit to ribbons. So let's see. Let's reduce that to 0. Here's a thing that happens when this thing hits 0 HP.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. So, the skin suit. So as the longsword cuts into it, and he basically like bisects the skin suit up the middle, and you watch as this thing like begins a heaving motion and like vomits up this gelatinous, gross puddle of ooze on the floor in its space. The skin suit falls away, becoming this just like empty sack of of flesh, and the ooze itself spreads out across the floor. Technically at 1 hit point, so it is still around, but is also technically unconscious, so it is up to you what to do with it. At this point, combat's over, so if anyone wants to do anything with it, otherwise it'll just be unconscious for a while.
Coup de grace.
Sure. Stick your flame blade into it, and as it starts bubbling and hissing, you hear the final death throes, the final death screech of this creature echoing off the walls of the chamber, and just leaves this gross, acrid, burning blood iron smell in its wake. That is the end of the Body Snatcher. So, with the excitement of the combat now slowly dissipating, see Jakariel flicks the blood off of his sword to the wall, sheathes his sword once more. It's a shame what vile abominations these Knights of the Black Circle can turn people into.
Yes, I unfortunately know firsthand.
Yeah, didn't you try to kill us one time? Not you, Angel, the chance person.
What was the question?
No, he was referencing the fact that I was turned into an avatar of slaughter again, and even after I pointed out the fact, because what it did to me, I caused death of several innocent people. That's going to haunt my conscience for the rest of my days. So he's basically just hammering that needle even deeper in.
Give you thumbs up.
I'm a big fan of when you turn into a big red hulking rage monster.
Did he get the reference? And he's not even in French or real.
Chance just looks at Valerian.
Now, Chance, you said you wanted to have some insight on whether or not these could be changed back. So I will allow you an Arcana check, or a History check. See if you can either remember.
It's the same modifier either way.
Yeah.
But Chance will voice his musings aloud, so if anyone else wants to roll, they can.
I'll give you guidance.
Yeah, I give him the help action.
Yeah,
likewise.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
If I can.
Sure, the smart people, the Scholars March being put back together slowly, the intelligent people kind of get their heads together in a think tank.
26?
Yeah, 26 is fine.
Yeah.
So the 26, that's basically what you needed to get above the DC here. There are ways to reverse these curses. It's different depending on the curse and depending on the individual, but in general, there are a number of ways to do it. High level magic is typically the only way to do it without some form of advanced alchemy. I.e., these curses can usually only be removed by a wish spell. Or other similar magic, similar high level magic. Such as, say, an upcasted remove curse or greater restoration. Could potentially do the trick depending on how long the target has been cursed for. There is also something that has been kind of sitting at the back of your mind since you first opened that Iron Maiden in the torture room. Saw the vials of blood, which I put in the chat about. That little addendum I made at the end of the last session was that among your possessions of your old teammates, there was a rack of blood vials, each one corresponding to the people that was taken. There was one vial of golden blood, which you assume to be from Jakariel, seeing as his injuries were visible when you met him. And the rest of them were labeled as members of the Scholars March. If you were to take that blood, Jakariel's blood specifically, and mix it with blood of a cursed target, with a high enough Arcana roll, with a high enough alchemy skill, you could craft a potion that, when force fed to a still living cursed creature, could reverse the effects of the curse. In this tower, you do know that there is alchemical supplies downstairs in the garden that you could use to potentially brew a potion of some kind to reverse curses in this way.
But these two are already dead. Fuck.
Those two are already dead, but you are aware of one other creature that exists within this chamber.
Damn, I guess Chance really didn't want us back.
Well, press F to pay respects.
I mean, technically speaking, could in theory revivify Flamora. I don't think there's much revivify one of the two. But there's only going to be enough for one dose, and as much as Chance would like to walk out of here with everyone.
I mean, with that roll, you know that Flamora and Dalavash are gone. Their bodies are forever changed, and their essences have been cursed. The only way to bring them back now would be through creating a new body for them to inhabit, and then having having a priest put their souls back into it. If they were willing, which is a whole can of worms in and of itself. And in any case, you only have enough Jikario's collective blood to make a potion.
Yeah, the problem is we like, as much as he doesn't want to, there's the fact that we like those kids need their father.
Do they?
Yes.
I mean, you want to face the wrath of his wife when you come back empty-handed?
What? No, I'm not gonna be there to deliver the news.
I say this full well knowing what I'm going to say. It's apparent those kids need their dad.
Oh.
Fuck off.
All right, you take.
You're welcome.
1 point of psychic damage from the awful pun, and no, I'm just kidding.
Rest of the party takes 1d4 psychic damage from hearing it.
Yeah, it's just the same as vicious mockery.
All right,
and it's even better
So,
because it's about a dad.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Jicario, I don't suppose you would begrudge me using this vial to maybe try and save at least one of my former companions?
if you think you know a way, and believe that it would reverse the curse, then I don't think that's such a bad thing.
Unfortunately, Talabash and Flamora are too far gone at this stage. Need the amount of magic required to save them at this point is well beyond what any of us can do. Would almost take divine intervention at this point.
If it were still within my power, I would grant it, but fortunately, no more. If there is a way to reverse the curse on your final remaining friend, wherever he may be, then
I think you and I both have an idea where he is, given what we've seen so far.
We don't know for sure, but it's worth a shot, I suppose.
Alright, well, I'm going. Well, this needs to be force fed to a still living creature, so I'm going to go. Unfortunately, I am not I know of the requirements, but I myself am not exactly skilled in alchemy.
Me neither. If there was a way to fix this problem by steering a ship, sure, but yeah, not exactly my area of knowledge.
Well, what I'm gonna do is let's go look at least at the supplies we have, see what I can cobble together. I don't suppose either of you know you wear an alchemy set.
Let's see here.
I know how to use a hammer at the Blackford Smiths.
I do not.
I don't suppose there is any chance in any of the heavens above or hells below that you happen that in your tenure as a whatever you call yourself at this point, you picked up how to do alchemy.
From a cell? No. Though I know there is one other that resides inside the tower.
I was about to say, what about the satyr guy, that plant guy?
The gardener. He might know.
He's under some sort of memory curse with the axe.
Hostile to us?
No, he's not hostile, but if you try and remind him of what he's supposed to be, because he doesn't remember the Feywild, he doesn't remember much of anything, and when I initially reminded him of it by accident, the axe glowed and he went catatonic briefly.
Well, I hate to even suggest it, but perhaps he can still be deceived to helping us.
The thing is, with how Fey, despite their capricious nature, if you do them a favor, they are obligated to owe. They're obligated to owe you. I know that firsthand, as well. This wouldn't be the first Fey we've helped, though. Actually, I wonder. Let's see. Last time we helped a Fey and got a favor owed, it was a Fey king. I'm not entirely certain if Satyr is bound by the same rules.
Make an Arcana check. Or a history check. Sure. 19. They can be. I mean, saving anyone would make them ingratiated to you. What Jakariel was referring to specifically was deceiving him in his current state. He's a servant of the tower, pretend to be a guest and ask something of him. Essentially, what he was getting at.
Okay.
That's one way to avoid a conflict at the very least. Or you can try and free the satyr. That's also another thing you could do. I'm all for removing his shackles, ready for another conflict.
Can I maybe think of what it might take in order to get the curse off of him, at least to where he's coherent again?
You remember from previous encounter with the satyr that the axe was the source of the enchantment. So removing the axe from play would be the way to do it, either by severing his connection somehow to it, or shattering the axe and breaking enchantment thereby.
Thing is, though, magic items are notoriously hard to destroy.
I mean, do enough damage to anything, it could be destroyed, as long as that damage is magical. Meant to resist, normal combat stuff, but the other thing also is if you remove the enchantment just by, dispel magic or anything like that could suppressing it by anti-magic auras. Anything to basically sever the connection between the gardener and the weapon that holds him captive.
Well, let's go talk to him, see if he at least knows anything about alchemy before we go through the effort forward, so we're not potentially, well, I hate to say it like this, but potentially wasting resources trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I probably would. Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna move
I
you
guess
down
I got
here.
kicked again.
I
Probably-
moved you down to the garden if you want
Yeah,
to be.
Okay, cool. I would probably kind of give Chance a nudge and hold out the Abjurations book that I've got. Maybe there's something of use in here if we're really wanting to do what you were suggesting. I don't know if there's anything worth finding in here, but it's a pretty thick book and it does focus on the general sort of thing you were talking about doing. If you want to
Chance
look it
will-
over,
guys,
be my
but
guest.
I gotta go. Something came up.
Yeah, that's fine. Chance will quickly flip through it, be like,
The Abjuration book is mainly focused on ways to avoid magic in the first place. Undoing magic is a different matter altogether than what's in the contents of this tome.
apologies. It's not really. I appreciate the idea of limestone, but unfortunately, no, it's just not going to be of any real assistance.
Oh well, was worth looking at, I guess. Well, I guess we could potentially see if there is something that this gentleman wants as he is now. I don't know what that would be, but
Let's talk first. See how that goes. Excuse me, friend.
Oh, hello again.
I don't suppose you know anything about alchemy. We have a bit of assistance on that, but can't find anyone anyone able to help.
Well, I do. Um, I've been making potions for Mistress Yuria for quite a while now. Yurena. Why I said Yuria. I'm thinking of Dark Souls. Mistress Yurena.
Well, Chance will describe the potion that we need in order to potentially save Devanta.
That's quite a hefty potion you're brewing there, friend, but I suppose it fits for a friend of the mistress. If you hand it over, you can take the items in the back and
Yeah.
potion.
Can we attempt? Can any of us? Do we need proficiency in alchemist tools in order to attempt the help action here?
No. You just need proficiency in alchemist tools to attempt the creation in the first place.
But helping, we can still do.
Yeah, it's fine. If you know how to do it, you can instruct him. So, as he takes the ingredients in the back and begins to work, have him roll check with advantage. Sheet here to make sure that I have stats and things. Let's see. What's his proficiency bonus? It's +2. So it's whatever this roll is at advantage, +2 plus. Okay. Great. It's a 20. So, as he pours the ingredients into an alembic and begins to mix them together, he turns back to you and says, "All right, so this'll take a little while to brew. I can come and fetch you when it's done, if you'd like. You seem to be a little bit worse for wear there, friend."
Thank you then. Well, I suppose we'll just go take a bit of a breather.
Wish to wait for the potion, you can take a short rest. If not, you can continue on exploring the dungeon, and it will be ready for you when you are ready to leave.
Yeah, I'd rather not go into a potential fight with whatever's in the pit. That's more than likely what they turned Devanta into. I'd rather not do that. The potion on hand.
Yeah.
Sure. You do know. I mean, you entered the room at the end of the jail floor, and there is another staircase that leads up further into the tower. That is an option if you wish to continue to explore. Otherwise, you can take a short rest and wait for the potion to be done. Up to you.
I say wait for the potion, just to be safe than sorry. Like I have no more hit dice to burn on resting, but is what is.
Okay. So, I'm going to
Sounds good.
take a 2-minute pee break real quick while everyone takes their short rest, and then we will come back in. Okay. So we start in the recording, and coming back after the end of the short rest. Everybody somewhat refreshed. Their previous encounter, jail. After a little over an hour, the satyr comes back, holding a vial of a kind of an amber-looking clear fluid. Has kind of like an internal glow, like a soft pulse of light from within. Says, "There you go, as ordered, master."
Thank you, sir. Right, let's head back to the pit.
The pit. The brattiest pits.
All right, everyone. This is going to be ugly, as if I'm even remotely correct, Tavanta has received probably one of the more unfortunate curses.
Right. So, as you step down into the chamber, I can give you a better idea of what you're looking at.
This is a stair down. I did not realize this. I thought that was a stair up.
Oh, you could. It's like a 5-foot drop. You could jump down if you want. Point is, if you're looking through the bars down into the pit, once you get to the bottom, you see down at the end of the pit, half shrouded in darkness, is this almost gelatinous-looking mound of flesh and pseudopods that is slowly roiling and making this odd gurgling noise, this from within the pit itself. You watch as several pale green eyes, easily a dozen or more, open, and a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth appears before you, yawning open, almost a pit in and of itself. That is what you were staring at down in the pit there. Massive and roiling as this flesh monster is, you can see as it notices your presence, its tendrils beginning to snake up the sides of the pit itself.
Now,
God.
is there any role I can make to try and identify this as a heavily cursed Tavanta?
No. If it was Tavanta, it would be far without recognizing.
Can I maybe make a roll, see if I can recognize if I can guess what this creature is? Like what? Like, oh hey, this is what. Like, yeah, it's a cursed thing, but this is what this thing has been cursed to turn into.
Associated with that, let me look it up.
Fuck.
So I can find the cursed creatures. This is
It can't break out, can it? Or is it
you don't know.
like? Does it?
Oh, God.
You have no idea. Here it is. Okay. Is there a rule? Not specifically, so I would say an Arcana check to recognize the curse, possibly.
21.
Sure.
Ignore the guidance.
Yeah, 21. One of the variations of curses that you have been taught about in your studies was the Curse of Bloated Agony, I believe is what it's called. Maybe it's not called that. Nope.
Insert bad
Wrong-
curse here. Bad
Wrong one.
curse name here.
That's Bloodhunter. I'm thinking of the Curse of Ravenous Hunger, which transforms the afflicted into a bulging, slug-like monster sprouting multiple hulking fist-like claws, wicked tentacle-like tongues, and a giant voracious maw of gnashing teeth. It cares about nothing but consuming everything, alive or not. You can see the you can see the tendrils. It's several of its tongues are beginning to worm their way up towards you.
So this is the sort of thing that probably wouldn't refuse something that was thrown into its mouth. It's not a picky eater, is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely not. If you want to see what it looks like, that's what it looks. To the center there.
Oof.
It is horrifying on so many different levels.
The
It's
problem is
the
like I
definition of
have
not
like
fun.
I have no way of confirming this is Devonta. This could be some other motherfucker.
I mean, pray to whatever God you believe in.
Is there another room on this floor that Tavanta could conceivably be in? Is there another room we haven't checked yet?
No. Checked every room on this floor.
Okay. So either he's being kept on another floor, or
Wait, I have a question for the angel. How long have you been here?
It's a part of a decade. By my
How long
counts.
has that thing been here?
I don't know. They don't let me out of my cell except to torture me, and I've never seen the inside of this room before.
Well, you said you remember hearing the noises it makes.
Sure, those started many months ago. It's hard to keep track in the cell.
You say about 8 or 9 months ago?
Possibly. A number of months, to be sure. It's difficult to track time once you've run out of tally space on your walls.
Well, I have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna at least have to chance it.
Odds are maybe in your favor.
Would it be difficult to throw the potion vial into its open maw?
No. No, not at all.
Am I still gonna have to roll for it?
No, if you want to, you could drop it from where you are, and it would land easily within its mouth.
Chance will mutter a prayer under his breath and drop the vial.
Right. As the vial goes tumbling down into the maw of this creature, you watch as, once it passes the threshold, its mouth shuts and its razor-like teeth begin to consume the potion. You're afraid that it doesn't work for about 30 seconds until you see the quivering mass of flesh begin to pulsate and undulate, and you hear this low rumbling sound as if a massive upset stomach were roiling below you. The body itself begins to let off a horrendously large cloud of just foul-smelling steam and smoke. Everybody in the chamber, go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
yeah, huh?
Ha ha! Yeah. No.
Not at all.
Woo! All right.
Yeah, I get the feeling like we're all probably incredibly sickened.
Oh. Is that everybody? We got Xenivore, we got Fuego, we got Lemmy. Okay, cool. So you are all considered poisoned for the next hour.
Yay.
Just go ahead and keep that in mind. Unless you are immune to poison condition. What's the toxic thing? It's missing. Mark that on all of your tokens there. Assuming you're not concentrating on Flame Blade after that. I'll just mirror image last minute.
Yeah, not long at all. I think
Alright, so all considered poison. But once the cloud dissipates and you you peer down into the chamber once more, make me a perception check.
Doesn't poison impose disadvantage on all checks?
Yes. It's hard to see through the tears.
disadvantage on Hey,
12.
actually, is there is there I know this is asking a lot, but is there a way I could do a weird? Nah, it's too late to do it. Never mind. I'm just gonna just do a disadvantage roll and call it good. So
Yep, that is 2 12s.
All right. Wow.
David, your eyes are stinging, man. You're crying in the corner. This is
Okay.
worse than the worst Dutch oven you've ever had in your life.
Woo!
The rest of you is fine. I was only looking for a 10.
God.
You see at the bottom, it is kind of hard to see because it's dark down there. There's no light that's really entering that space. Your dark vision is only doing you so much favor. But at the bottom of the pit, you see in kind of a shallow puddle of like this dark green and black ooze, there is a body curled up, lying kind of on its back. Body of your friend, the body of Tavanta.
Oh, thank the gods that we guessed correctly.
Now this pit is a good 60 feet down. You're gonna need to figure out a way to get down there. Just shoot magic missile at him and kill him.
Sorry, no. I'm sorry. I was trying to unclick a thing, and I zigged when I should have zagged. That's
It's funny.
That's all.
We saved him.
So,
No. All right. Well, you're gonna need to figure out a way to get down there, but he is down at the bottom.
Xenivore, can Xenivore fly?
Can't fly. How do you get past the iron grate?
Wasn't there? If you'll get rid of the big token.
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
so there is a
grate there. You do see that there once was a ladder that led down into the pit, but it has since been eaten.
Yeah. Can I try and open? Hey, Limestone, would you mind trying to open this grate here? This looks like there's like a latch here.
Yeah, I could certainly give it a try. Is it locked or what's the?
I also do have a lot of keys. So, is there any keys that didn't fit doors that I have?
You've used all the keys that you know of. You could try the keys again if you'd like.
I'll try them. See if.
Tavanta's cell key opens the grate if you'd like. So that's easy enough to unlock.
If you can go get him, Xenivore.
Yes, sir. Goes down.
Right away. He rising from the pit like Hercules at the end of that one Disney movie. He brings up Tavanta in the princess carry in his arms and lays him across the stone floor in front of you.
Is Devonta alive, or is this like a me situation where I crawled out of the body of the fucking Avatar of Slaughter and then promptly died?
Make a medicine check.
I feel like that's not a check I need to make to tell if his chest is rising and falling with breath, but okay.
Oh, make it. No.
No.
7. I mean, you're only looking for a pulse, and you found one, so that's good enough proof. You do see that he is his breathing is labored. He is completely unconscious and covered in bile, but there is a pulse, and he is breathing.
Well, Presto can deal with the bile.
At the very least, he's stable.
All right. I honestly never thought I'd see any of them alive again. Honestly, I never thought I'd see the light of day again after everything, but you know what? This is the best I could have hoped for. and Chance, despite being poisoned and probably dealing with some of the worst PTSD flashbacks a man could have, laughs like a fucking lunatic.
I know you're probably not, but are you okay there, buddy?
You know, when I grew up, when I was a kid, I thought when I grow up, I'm gonna be a great historian. I'm gonna delve into ancient crypts and bring back the history that this world lost over the breaking. I was gonna be a big name in the historian community. I had dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And now, well, certainly seems far away.
I try to make him feel better. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's probably not going to happen there, Chance. Too bad.
Technically, it's disadvantage, so you have to roll again because that wasn't the correct roll.
What does it matter?
You could get a better roll.
Okay, let's see if I can. It doesn't matter. I still have to take this one. So
No.
No,
The
you
way we
have
run
to
it,
roll again.
the way we run it is the first correct roll in chat is the one we take.
Oh,
Since that is an incorrect roll, you roll again.
Sure. Let's do disadvantage persuasion, which I'm terrible at anyway. Because, yeah. Okay.
Wizards don't need charisma.
No.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter.
Gorgeous.
Natural one both
even
times.
better.
The duality
Even
of
better.
man.
Even better.
It's literally a natural 1 and then a natural 20 and a natural 1 again.
Yeah. So I follow suck it up Chance with, but really, seriously, you gonna cry?
Fucking pussy.
I honestly don't know.
Jesus
My
Christ.
eyes are still burning from curse residue, I suppose, what you would call it.
Pulling the finger which man was not meant to pull, I think.
What was the Angels' take on Chance's little mental breakdown, out of curiosity? Because I can tell how everyone else is taking it.
Yeah, hard to tell what his face is like under the helmet that he wears. He's just standing silently by.
Well, on the bright side, if we make it out of here alive, I don't have to get my face stomped in by an angry Minotaur woman.
Silver lining?
Yeah. Yeah, silver linings, yeah. I'll probably never have a good night's sleep again for as long as I live. Most of my friends are dead, partially by my own hand. There's a millennia-old cult that I was unknowingly a part of for most of my life.
Hey, don't forget the part where you were unwillingly weaponized and set loose on defenseless villagers. Who knows how many of them you
What
killed?
the?
Yeah! How could I have forgotten that? Totally not like I haven't been reminded of it 5 times in the past 2 hours.
But
You
hey,
need a hug?
but hey, you're doing stuff. Yeah, doing stuff. Yeah.
And let's see. I was tagging along with what I thought was potentially my a fragment of my ancestor. Turns out, oh no, my ancestor that I was trying to pull on had become the core. So I was pulling on their usurper, who was apparently this big evil motherfucker that this cult worships. So that was that was a fun thing to find out. Let's see. I have left home. A home I can never go back to. Not talking Larishev, the home I had before then. There's Oh yeah. I've also been a noble for all of a year, and I've been gone for the better part of a year, so that's gonna be a fun thing to go back to and sort out. Uh let's see, what else? Fuego, is there anything I'm missing?
You died?
Oh yeah, I died.
You're welcome. Well,
Do you want a hug? I give him a hug. If he wants one.
Okay, I got sure. I got stupid question time. Chance, I know this is really not much of anything that affects anything, but it smells awful in here. Do you, Chance Fairweather, personally have a favorite scent or smell? Something that's, something that when you smell it makes your day, that's just not going well at all, goes slightly less badly somehow?
My nose is currently blocked by an amount of poisonous, noxious gas that I can't smell anything right now. So
what I'm saying is I might be able to fix that. Maybe. Would you like to smell, any happy smells, ones that give you good memories, maybe from childhood? I don't know if you've got any. I hope you do.
Well, there's, books. I kind of grew up in effectively a library, so.
Oh, I know that smell well. The smell of nice old paper with just a hint of dust. The scent of knowledge of eons. Okay. I am going to, if I can do it with prestidigitation, great. I'd just like to do what I can to fill the room with that. I do have another higher level spell about smells that could do that.
Higher level spell.
No, that's no joke. I really do, but it's.
That's fine. You can Febreze the air. It's fine.
Yeah, I would like to just make it. I would like to just use Presto and make it reek of books here, and nothing overwhelmingly like just nice, slightly well-aged tomes and paper.
Yeah,
It goes from smelling like leftover Taco Bell to a library.
Yes,
in a matter of a couple minutes.
Yeah, Chance is kind of just sitting there trying to process everything. Okay. Well, you think this what's her face is still here? I think I kind of need something to focus on, and cutting evil cult lady from stem to stern is probably better than just sitting here wallowing in my own self-pity.
If she was
Let's
still
go
here,
murder a bitch.
if she was still here, she would have met us already, or met you.
Yeah, and we don't know what else lies in wait for us on other parts of this tower. I mean, we've kind of gotten some mixed results with some of the floors, haven't we? The library was kind of a mixed bag. The gardener fellow seemed pretty nice, but this floor was a little bit try to kill us ish. Yeah. I mean, if you want to press on, I'm for it. But if anybody feels like taking it easy, maybe we get back to strength. Hey, I'm good either way. I will go with whatever the majority of you all vote for. It probably wouldn't do Tavanta here. That's your friend, right? Any great harm to take things easy for a while, but I don't know. I could attempt to try to help him recover, rest up a bit, but I am not that's not really my forte. I'm he's not a lock and he's not a book, so
if you had to guess,
or a boat.
if you had to guess, and Chance will look at the elf. If you had to guess, how long do you think that the lizard lady will come back, if at all? Like, when's the last time she's fucked with you at all?
You mean the angel?
Oh.
Yeah, he's looking. He's looking at the angel. Xander's looking at not Xander, different character. Chance looking at the angel when he says that.
It's hard to tell, though, if you've been traipsing around her tower for, any lengthy period of time. I'm sure she knows about it at the moment. If she's not on her way back, then she must be doing something extremely important.
It is amongst itself its own concern.
I mean, it's possible we could lie in wait for her here. Ambush her when she does return. Or, it's entirely possible she can reach out and bring the tower down around us.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not fight a wizard in their own tower. There's plenty of historical examples of how that goes extremely poorly.
Well, seems there's still more tower to explore, if you're up for it.
Yeah. About as up for as I'm gonna be.
Well, what do we want to do with your rescued friend here?
If you'd like, I can stand guard over him while you continue searching.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Very well. Will you join me, Master Dragonborn? Galay just nods in response.
Well, he could do worse for protectors.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's good. Well, Chance will kind of... we should probably take a moment to recover from the... Whoa. The prevailing scent still...
Yeah.
permeating my nostrils despite the much better scent in the room.
What's that for?
Oh, just to see if I believe the angel. There's been a lot of deception lately, so
Disadvantage.
I'm a little bit on edge. Okay, sure, let's do that.
Acting the roles.
Here, and yeah, not so much. It seems okay to me.
Yep, you believe him.
Yeah.
He's offering to stand guard over Tavanta and have Galay stay with him as well.
Okay. That'll work. All right. Well, maybe let's do what we can to find any dangers ahead and hopefully take care of them. And then maybe we can come back for Tavanta later.
Yeah, okay. First up, okay, let's take them out. Let's take a breather to kind of get rid of this. How long do we have to wait till the poison goes away?
24 hours. You're going to be poisoned until the end of this. Unless you guys take a long rest. Stay here for another day. But I don't know if you want to do
That's
that.
a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Well, let's just.
Let's go.
For the sake
We're
of
at
it, and because I
disadvantage
don't,
on all rolls, right? Yeah.
disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls.
Okay.
All right. Here's what I'm
Whoa.
going to do, Fuego. I feel like we may need a bit more consistency, and since you and I are both fucked, I'm going to do the. Does the combo still work? Where if I do Blood Warriors, then summon the Eidolon, do they still stick around, or does that not work anymore? I forget.
I don't think I made a change to that. I'm pretty sure that's still around. You just can't. If you unsummon Fuego, summon the Blood Warriors. They don't require concentration if you spend hit dice, I think.
Oh wait, fuck!
Do you have any hit dice? Is the question.
I'm out of hit dice. I spent them all in the short rest.
Yeah, so you could summon the Blood Warriors. They would last for however long they last for, but they would not be permanent.
What I will do is I will unsummon Fuego and then resummon him so he's not poisoned.
Sure.
Oh.
I don't know if does it say that he's removed from conditions?
Well, it's a whole new body, so if he isn't, that would raise several questions.
I mean, he comes back in the same way that he left, unless he's killed.
It just says its hit points are unchanged, but that's because we don't have hit points anymore. But that's because it hasn't changed.
Yeah, I didn't make it in there, but I'll make the call now that unless he's been reduced to 0 hit points and banished in that way, he comes back as he left.
Oh well, shit! Me trying to game the system.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'll add that in later, but
I tried to play it smart. GM
Yeah.
said, "Fuck you." No.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. Unless you want to kill him and then bring him back, but
That would just knock me out.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna say that you're both still poisoned until further notice. Okay, and because I don't want to control his token anymore, Valerian's also gonna stay behind, and I will move you guys up to the next floor of the tower.
Okie doke.
So we have me, Chance, David,
Oh my god.
Fuego. It's big still for some reason. Or so big for some reason. Okay. So this floor of the tower, what you assume to be the top floor, as you see no more staircases leading upward, is taken up by a massive observatory room that depicts 5 orbs of multicolored light in orbit around a star, which would be the center. 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 pale white, 1 light blue, and 1 verdant green. These balls of light float slowly throughout the room about 3 feet off the ground, which has been designed to look like the night sky beyond Rhea's atmospheric miasma. That is, those of you who notice and recognize the night sky beyond the storm that rages above.
AKA Just Chance.
Wait, would I have ever seen the night sky while sailing through it?
No, the storm is ever present.
Never.
You've never seen
Wow. Okay.
anything other than the storm.
Fair enough.
Let's see. So, go ahead and everybody make me a history or arcana check. Your choice. DC is different for Chance than it is for everyone else.
All right.
Okay, and these are all disadvantage, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Mitch.
Yes. All disadvantage.
What were the skills you called?
History or arcana. Your choice.
Hey.
I don't suppose this lets me add. I might be able to add a professional check to this.
This is not researching a subject. No, this is recalling information.
Yep. Figured. 24.
Easy enough. Okay, so David and Lemmy, unfortunately, you are not able to pick up on this, but Chance, your insights and knowledge of the greater cosmos allow you to pick up on this thing. This is very similar to a depiction of a solar system, except that this is not actually a depiction of the solar system. This is instead a representation of different spheres, different planes of existence.
Wait, and Chance will like muse like, wait, this is wrong. This isn't the right night sky. Chance will look at the orbs floating around. Can I make an Arcana check to see if maybe I can figure out what planes these are meant to represent?
Or I'll take the previous one down here that you get this. The light blue one and the green one that's orbiting it are Rhea and Genus.
That's Rhea and Genus. That's Rhea and Genus, where we are.
The yellow orb, kind of on the far reaches over here, is a representation of Mount Celestia.
That's Mount Celestia.
The red orb represents the Nine Hells, and the white orb represents the Astral Sea.
And the Astral Sea in between. Well, you know, it's generally debated whether or not the Astral Sea is its own plane or whether or not it's just the gap between other planes. But, well, seems the owner of this tower subscribed to the idea that it was its own plane.
Now, the dominating the remainder of the space, and probably what caught your attention first, is there is a massive arcane apparatus here with a long tube protruding from its base connected to a helmet, kind of dangling slightly above a plush, slightly angled bed or bench or something.
Savanta would have loved to see this.
Oh, so it kind of looks like a seating area or a bed with a dangling helmet over it,
connected to what appears to be a massive telescope.
If I had to hazard a guess, this is a telescope apparatus made to look at the stars, and I imagine the extra bits here mainly just so it can pierce the Arcanite cloud.
Make an Arcana check.
13, not great.
Best guess is that's exactly what it does.
Though I would perhaps posit that given the rest of what's in this room, it might also be a method of peering into the other planes, but the motive behind wanting to look at the other planes, well, anyone's guess, really. By the way, it's not me metagaming or anything, that's me just making a further observation of what I've seen here.
Sure, best guess.
Well, be careful and I suggest no one touch anything, because we don't know what's here.
If any of the other nerds here in the party want to make an Arcana check to investigate the telescope, you may as well.
As a nerd, I would like to.
Can I do it at a safe distance? I don't necessarily want to go stepping onto strange floors that might or might not be the sky.
I mean, I was making the check from distance, so if I can, you definitely can.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, disadvantage
your best inference on how this thing works, just judging by its construction in general.
This is an object.
Hey, 17 is exactly what you needed. David, from what Chance is saying, normally you would assume that, like, a telescope normally would peer beyond. You normally see and magnify things far away. However, the end of this telescope doesn't have a viewing apparatus of any kind or any lenses that you can see, just the helmet. And it makes you think that this machine is more than just a simple telescope. That if you were to activate it, you could do more than just view beyond a certain distance.
I tell him this.
Well, regardless, I don't really see much reason to stick around any further. It may be wise to, now that we've seen most of the tower, to make our exit.
Yes, we should. In the eternal words of my father, fuck off.
Quite. The only thing I would...
Can I?
Yes.
You were saying?
Yes, Lemmy.
Yeah, go.
Oh, okay. Can I do a perception roll to see if from where I am, if I can see if this is all obviously well affixed together in that whole bolted down sense? You know, it's all well constructed and of one piece and not easily disassembled or partially taken apart. I guess that'd be a
I'll let you
disadvantage.
do either perception or investigation. But with an investigation check, you have to get up to the thing. With a perception check, if you roll high enough, it will tell you more than just what's about the telescope.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to do a perception at disadvantage and see what happens, which I'm sure will be very disappointing. So
it's like a 17 to me. So 17, the telescope, it's fucking huge and definitely not movable by any stretch of the means. However, as you are kind of pondering, you watch one of the orbs kind of rotate slowly past your vision, and inside the glowing sphere of light, you see flashing images, just kind of as if watching a snippet of a video through fisheye lens on fast forward. And you get the sense that the orbs of light are not incorporeal, that you could interact with them in some way.
Okay. I would probably attempt to move over to the one that looks like Rhea while trying to avoid contact with other orbs. I'd probably try to move around kind of on a wide kind of circling path over to my right, so sort of, I don't know if it'll ping here or not, but it doesn't seem to ping when I do it.
The orbs are not moving very fast.
Kind of this way.
They're not hard to avoid.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just sort of trying to swing as wide as I can and to the Rhea one and give it a good look. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah, it's
and then I'm just
gently floating past you. You do see through the lens of this kind of orb. You see faint image, distorted image of a jungle from a first-person perspective as you are walking through it in first-person view.
Oh. So it's definitely it's a moving view. I'm not seeing a still picture. I'm seeing what looks like somebody would be seeing as they kind of walk through or travel through a jungle area, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And given your proximity to Genus, the moon, I'll also give you that.
Yeah.
It's a similar perspective, except you're walking along a road that it winds through a pine forest towards a distant town.
Okay. Well, none of this looks familiar to me. I'll relay to the other party what I'm seeing through these orbs and ask if any of this sounds familiar to any of them. I don't know where my companions have traveled in the past, so maybe one of them's familiar with a jungle or with some kind of what might be a road on Genus. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely relay this to David and or to Chance and everybody. So yeah, I would definitely send that up. Tell everybody else. Yeah, this is what I see. Does it sound familiar to any of you? So pretty much it.
Repeat that. Sorry, the last bit.
Okay. Yeah. Have you had any familiarity with like a road leading to a town somewhere on Genus, or I'm guessing what's some kind of a jungle area here on Rhea? Have you ever been in places like that?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And what that tells me is that this telescope or this whatever this is needs to be broken before we leave.
Understood.
Okay then. All right. How would you suggest the best way to go about disabling it?
Chance will look at it. What does it look like?
I mean, you're gonna need anything that can break anything. It's gonna take a
Does it-
while to dismantle this thing. I mean,
Does it look-
it's a massive magical apparatus. You're gonna need
Yeah.
like you're gonna need a lot of spell slots and shatter and fireballs and anything that can deal massive amounts of damage to even attempt to dismantle this thing.
Or
Or you could just take
What?
time with a hammer, you know.
or one angel with an axe to grind.
That's a possibility.
Can you go get him? Someone can go get him. I'd rather not leave here without making sure.
Me and Zevargo goes grabs the angel.
That's it.
They have moved away from the jail area and down to the first floor where they've laid Tavanta out on a couch to kind of wait for you guys to come back. Go ahead and drag him and go to another.
I'll explain to the angel what this thing is and why it's probably not a good idea to let the black circle, have it for any longer.
He, at the mention of what the orbs are and what they represent, he walks over to the yellow orb, represents Celestia, and reaches a hand out to grab it, takes a hold of it, his hands. It's about the size of a basketball, plucks it out of the air, and you see that he's kind of staring into it. He turns to you and says, These are views of Mount Celestia, yes. It's been so long since I've seen them. I admit the nostalgia is kind of taking me here. You say that this can peer into these places, this apparatus?
Yes, and with what I've seen them do, if my hunch is correct, they've also been using it to spy on where their enemies might be on Rhea.
It is entirely possible. It's only really one way to find out.
I volunteer to tribute.
He begins to walk toward the chair, and he's going to try and sit down.
Are you sure you should?
I don't know, but if none of you wish to take the risk, then I will.
I am going to stand. I'm going to stand next to him and try to ready an action to pull him loose of the device if it looks like it is causing him damage or pain. Like if it is obviously doing something that is, visibly dangerous or harmful to him, I am going to do my best to make sure he and the device are separated. So whatever I have to do that, that's what I'm going to try to do. I call over to the other ones and suggest that they may want to do something similar. If they would rather stay at a safe distance, fine. But I want to. Our friend here had
Chance and Fuego position themselves to
thought
help as
well,
well.
and I'd like to prevent him from being killed by whatever this is if it goes bad. So
Sure.
Yeah, send what's down for it.
that's pretty much it. Yep.
Okay, sure. So he's going to, with you kind of gathered around him, drop his angelic form and return to the human man you recognize from when you first rescued him from his cell. Places the helmet upon his head and leans back in the chair.
Honestly, I'm just picturing the more that Chance looks at him, the more he realizes, yeah, no, his face is it is honestly in the uncanny valley because it's too perfect at this point.
Yeah, he's like an AI generated Calvin Klein model, like a little bit uncanny valley there. He's still clutching the yellow Celestia ball in his hands while he does this, and as you watch him place the helmet and close his eyes begin to rapidly move back and forth between his eyelids, and the entirety of the room around you takes on a kind of pale yellow glow. Like, Chance, you would know this is like a warm sunlight, like feeling that kind of pervades the chamber. All of you at once are filled with this sense of ease, belonging, that kind of assuages any anticipation or what do you call it? Anxiety in you temporarily. As you're standing watch over him, this is a process that lasts for about 10 minutes. And during this time, at some point, you see like tears begin to form at the corner of his eyelids and fall from his cheeks and land on the bed. And after 10 minutes is up, you see his eyes flutter open, takes a deep breath, and releases the Celestia orb where it floats back to where its orbit once was. He sits up in the chair, seemingly exhausted by the effects this apparatus had on him, and says, I saw her memories. Yurena. These are records, not just representations of the planes. She was there, and she wasn't. She was projected. Her body was incorporeal. I saw her slay a noble beast. She mentioned my sister. I think this is how she found us. It's how she knows about us.
All right, so I would ask him. I guess it's a fairly obvious question, but still, I would ask him. So this is what you have seen is representations not of things as they are, but things as they were seen by this Yelena person.
Yes, by Yurena. These all appear to be
Yurena.
recorded memories, important events that she's already accomplished and committed to magical script. I don't know what lies on the others, but it's valuable insights into what they already know, at the very least.
Well,
at least I have answers of how I was captured, how she knew where to find me, how she knew what to look for.
I suppose I'll bite the bullet. Or bite the arrow, yes, because
Bite the bolt.
yeah.
Okay,
So,
which
So Chance will walk over and grab the hell orb.
It is almost uncomfortably warm to the touch. This one's a little bit smaller. It's about the size of like a children's soccer ball.
Chance will look over at the Rhea and the genus. Seems I may have to bite the bolt twice, unfortunately. Because I'm probably the one that would recognize some things on that one.
Make a perception check.
Oh, that's not disadvantage.
Yeah, roll it again. Yes. Unfortunately, at this distance, hard to kind of make out what's going on through that fisheye lens.
Yeah. Chance will grab the Nine Hells one and take a seat. I already know I'm gonna hate this.
Alrighty. So, as you settle into the machine, placing the helmet on your head and beginning to concentrate, you feel your mind being drawn up and away from your body. For a brief moment, you no longer feel or smell or see. You experience weightlessness and freedom as you've never felt before.
And then you're dragged down to the Nine Hells.
You can't tell, but the room you left, your body in, grows a deep shade of red, and the temperature rises to an uncomfortable level. Now suddenly your eyes open, and you take in your surroundings. You stand at the foot of a massive gnarled tree that stretches so high its canopy nearly blots out the entirety of the blood-red sky above. Surrounding you on all sides, you see alien vegetation. Unfamiliar plant life grows here that makes you uneasy, despite its colorful and enticing presence. One of my faithful servants seems to have wandered into the garden. I wonder what they want. A sultry feminine voice says as you whip around to investigate its source. Towering behind you is a woman, almost 3 feet taller than you are, with bronze skin and jet black hair decorated with jewelry of incalculable value.
Now, if I remember correctly, this was stated to be records history, not something that's current. So
Correct.
this person isn't referring to me as Chance.
Exactly. Indeed, she is the most beautiful woman you have ever seen, a fact undiminished by the small horns jutting from her brow, the leathery wings sprouting from her back, or the forked tail whipping back and forth like a mildly amused or perturbed house cat.
I mean, if I hated those specific traits, I get the feeling I would hate any time I see a mirror.
A voice comes from your throat that is not your own, calm and measured with carefully chosen words. My Lady Glacia, Lord of the Sixth, Princess of the Hells, your humble servant seeks your audience. I bring news of our progress. Oh? Says the Archdevil, a knowing grin creeping across her face. Well, I hope for your sake it's good news. The last time you brought tidings, I had to convince the Iron Lord not to have you flayed and hung from his tower, as much as it amused me to see him squirming with paranoia. My apologies, Lady Glacia. However, I do bring good tidings. Thanks in no small part to Arwell, we have added 3 new names to the list of the fallen. Soon they will be in our grasp, and it will only be a matter of time before their essences fuel the rise of the 10th Circle. My, this is wonderful news, my pet. See to it that they don't take as long as to break as the last one. Your circle does well in my father's eyes, and you shall be rewarded handsomely for your devotion. Glauzia's grin morphs into a wide smile as unsettling as it is wonderful to witness. She moves lithely in a circle around you, the pointed nails on the ends of her fingers tracing along your shoulders as she does. Ignoring the goosebumps forming on your skin and the ever-growing instinct to flee, the voice escapes from your lips once more. I do have one concern, my lady, about our esteemed leader, Lord Hadrigan. The devil stands in front of you now, eyes locked unblinkingly on yours. Do tell, my sweet, what vexes you so?
By the way, what was the name of the name that she said about apparently their source of information on the Fallen?
Arwell.
About like that?
Yeah. Exactly. The voice continues. He has grown more brash of late, taking unnecessary risks by pushing the agenda further up. I fear his impatience jeopardizes all that we hope to achieve. And I suppose you believe it would be you who leads the others then, Glazia offers sweetly. If the Lords of the Nine deem it so, I would not shy from the opportunity. Is that so? Be careful, little mage, for to question Hadrigan's place in your circle casts doubt on those who appointed him. Do you really believe yourself more wise than my father? Glazia's hand whips out like a striking serpent as she holds one sharpened nail to your throat, just above the artery. You freeze in abject fear, willing your legs to run or your arms to rise in your defense, but finding them completely unresponsive to your pleas. Come now, Yurena. You should know better by now. We not only command your loyalty, but also your faith. So, do yourself a favor and purge these blasphemous thoughts from your pretty little head. Unless you wish me to use it as a flower pot. As quickly as it was placed at your throat, her hand is back at her side. The devil's Cheshire grin is the last thing you see before the vision fades and you open your real eyes to see the observatory around you once more.
Okay.
You also take 1 point of exhaustion.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. I should. Hey. Name Arwell mean anything to you?
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
Well, apparently she either was one of you or had some connection to you, because she's the reason how they know about your existence.
Well, her and the others, I suppose.
Also, Princess of the Nine Hells. Any names you have attached to that?
Princess Glazia?
Yeah, her. Yeah.
Asmodeus' daughter. One of the Lords of the Nine Hells.
Yeah, well, apparently she's the particular patron of
Of Yurena?
yeah, her. Also, bit of infighting, so some loyalty issues there. Might be able to use that. Also, Iron Lord, because apparently their last tidings weren't great, so something named the Iron Lord or whatever the fuck. I'm just trying to relay any information I could think of that seemed relevant from that little musing.
Sure. Roll a Arcana or History check.
Like, Chance to start rattling off what he saw.
Let's see, which one was it? Trying to find which one it was.
He's hoping that if he doesn't know it, someone else will. Or that if he's too fucked up to remember.
Is it this one?
Also, if you don't want to be more fucked up than with the poison, I suggest probably no one else probably take a seat.
I'm trying to find the fucking. It's one of the archdevils. Which specific one it was?
Insert archdevil. Let's say insert archdevil here. Move on.
Dispater. That's it. Lord of Dis.
Okay. I guess after he's relayed this information, I'll probably wander over to the bluish orb and see if I can get it to budge. The one over here, yeah.
That's the astral sea. Probably not the most helpful here.
That one's it's
Yeah.
kind of a pale white orb.
Or the whitish one. Yeah, I'll bite the bullet on this one and at least try to make a contribution. I will take it over with me and attempt to give it a look. You never know what you might find there. Of course, the bad news is you never know what you might find there. So
Yeah, you look there, and I suppose David, you want to volunteer as tribute for the other one?
I volunteer as tribute and pick up Rhea.
Who's going first?
I'll go first. I mean, why not? Let me move over to
It's a good thing we're already poisoned.
to the
So like the exhaustion, the level 1 exhaustion won't do anything for us, anything to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just a bunch of masochists.
Ready. So.
double secret disadvantage.
So, Lemmy, as you settle into the machine, placing the helmet on your head and beginning to concentrate, for a brief moment you no longer feel or smell or see, and you experience weightlessness and freedom as you've never felt before. And the room around you is overcome by a dim silver light. When you open your eyes once more, you stand on a small hexagonal platform of rock, surrounded on all sides by an ocean of shimmering metallic liquid that laps gently at your feet. On the horizon, you see an endless field of tiny lights piercing the yawning darkness that surrounds them. Looking down into the ocean of silver at your feet, you lean forward slowly and dive straight down into the depths below you. It is there that you see the platform for what it truly was, the peak of an impossibly tall stone tower stretching downward into oblivion. Slowly rotating counterclockwise, though it's hard to tell due to the odd sense of perspective in this place. Through your own focused willpower, you propel yourself down into the depths of the silvery water until you reach one particular balcony jutting from the side of the structure. Landing softly upon the cold stone floor, you push aside a heavy velvet curtain to find that the inside of the tower is entirely hollow, but not at all empty. Curving along the inside walls of the tower, you see incalculable volumes of books and scrolls on shelves that stretch on for miles and miles as far as your eyes can see. Every now and then, several volumes flit from their housing on their own, and float off into the distance to some unknowable destination, or an equally unknowable purpose. Allowing yourself to step off the platform once more into the heart of the tower, you begin to descend slowly downward, the shelves upon shelves of books spinning ever so slightly around you, until you reach the base of the tower. There, a simple wooden desk, piled high with papers and books, sits resolute, manned by an elderly elven man with stark white hair and pallid, wrinkled skin to match. As you alight before him, he looks up from behind his circular spectacles and addresses you. Yurena, you're here earlier than expected. Rest assured, Father, I've not come to stay this time, you say, your voice smooth and feminine as you reach behind you to the nape of your neck and feel for the silvery cord affixed there. The man raises an eyebrow at this and remarks, "An impressive feat for one so young. Tell me then, if you've not yet left the prime material for good, why is it that I find you here in our ancestral repository? Seeking parental guidance, perhaps?" "Not quite, Father," you say with a chuckle. "I've come for something much more precious than that in mind. Are you aware of the ancient prison of Guldagnia? Of course, girl. I've even visited the place when that insufferable fool Rayless Quayland attempted to recruit me to his little bounty hunters club. Now that the wardens have abandoned their posts, however, I have to wonder what you'd want with that dreadful jail. As you're no doubt aware, the vaults of Guldagnia hold numerous powerful artifacts confiscated over the years by its wardens. However, one artifact in particular is far more valuable than the rest. I believe that the Grimoire Infinitus itself rests within the depths of the prison's holds. At this, your father raises a quizzical eyebrow, a telltale sign that you've now piqued his interest. The Grimoire? What brings you to such a conclusion, my daughter? Though he sounds skeptical, you are familiar with how his mind works. He's not challenging you, but rather asking you for your sources, as a professor might from one of his students. The lavish excursions budget Crow allowed me has finally paid off. A ruin was uncovered recently by the local academy. We believe it to be the ruins of Quayland's Tower, or at least one of his personal repositories. It was there a journal was found that mentions a way to access Guldagnia through use of his personal key, which was also found in the room. So you have this key with you, then? If so, why not open the way now? Why come here? Old Elf asks, crossing his arms. You can tell he's being rhetorical now. He already knows the answers to each of his questions except last. The key is in the possession of the adventuring party who found it, at least for now. We won't claim it until it becomes necessary to do so. Best to let their arrogance and hunger for knowledge do them in. It's far less messy for us. Who knows, they may even find the vault, but at least they'll have done all the heavy lifting for us by then. What I want from you is a library card. Somewhere in here there must exist records confirming my hypothesis, and once I have the grimoire, the debt will be paid back 1,000-fold. The elder elf allows a small smile to play across his lips. Very well, my dear. I accept. The tower is yours to peruse. I know you won't disappoint me, but I will ask one more thing of you before you go. When you find Guldagnia and you reach the vaults below, give Uncle Gil my best. Give a short bow of thanks to the elder elf, who returns to his work, no longer paying you any mind. As you turn to leave, your vision fades to blackness before you find yourself awaking once again within the celestial observation room, having taken one level of exhaustion as a result.
Okay, I will attempt to relay everything that I've heard and to a degree seen, but I think the most important part is what I've heard from the older elf in what I'm guessing is some library in the astral sea somewhere, and let everyone else know that the vaults of Guldagnia are apparently extremely important to our enemies. That is, it sounds like an important resource that if we can possibly somehow deny them that may hamper their efforts greatly. So I'll certainly mention that as a potential.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, please go ahead. That's the main thing I had to say there. So
describe the bit about the adventurers. Chance will go to the nearest wall silently and punch the wall so hard he probably just broke a couple fingers.
Sure. Take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Fucking.
I
they were dancing in
I
the
would
palm of
probably
their
witness
hand the
this and
whole
say,
damn
what
time.
Oh. So you're saying that they've been using you and the rest of the Scholars March as some patsies, some cat's paws.
We were the ones who found that tower. We were the ones who found the keys. Gods above, devils below.
So they sent you in like a cat after a rat. Well,
No,
I'd say
we were the rats, and down came the cat's claw. Once we had grown fat.
either way, it sounds like we need to get thinking about putting the bite on somebody. All right, I'll step away if anybody else wants to give a look at one of the other orbs. I think I just need to try to remember where I am, and more importantly, that I'm not where it looked like I was.
So, David, you grabbed Rhea, right? Not Genus?
Yeah.
They're two separate orbs, so you're going to be looking at the Rhea one.
Yes.
Alrighty. So, as you settle in and feel your consciousness fade and yourself be dragged off into the memory, the room around you is bathed in a pale blue light. And when you open your eyes, you are walking through a dense forest of tropical trees, thriving among twisted bushes and vines, which part for you as you stride calmly forward towards your destination. The air is dense and warm here, like a hot breath threatening to suffocate you. And you continue your journey for another minute before a noise in the brush nearby stops you in your tracks. Just then it occurs to you that the noise of birds in the treetops and insects buzzing in your ears has disappeared entirely, and you stand now in unnerving silence. You speak aloud, your voice feminine and unwavering, measured and confident in no specific direction. It's been a long time, brother, since we've seen you last. I was beginning to worry that you'd gotten lost out here. The brief pause that follows is suddenly broken by the snap and twang of a bowstring and the whistling of an arrow that flies right between your unblinking eyes and into the tree behind you, splitting its trunk down the middle. Really now, Gyrus, is that the kind of welcome I get after all these years? You say, a sigh of exasperation escaping your lips. I was just making sure it was really you, sister. To what do we owe the pleasure? Emerging from a nearby bush, a serpentine head, hooded like a cobra and covered in onyx scales, followed by the rest of his humanoid body, dressed head to toe in dark green and brown leather armor, is the source of the mysterious voice. Well, as you can see, dear, I still wouldn't be caught dead visiting you in person in this filthy jungle of yours. But I had to do something since you wouldn't answer my calls. I need a favor. Ah, a favor, you say? Then what can I expect in return? Surely you've come with an offer of compensation? Of course I have, Gyrus. I think you'll find my proposition most enticing. I will give you that which you desire most, worthy prey to hunt. In return, I will need you to seek out that which the Archon in Green treasures most and bring it to me. I will have need of its magic soon if we are to place the correct prince on the throne. I trust this is manageable. Of course, Yurena. Zolrim should be distracted easily enough. You will have your prize at first light tomorrow, so long as you hold up your end of our bargain, of course. Excellent. I shall have what remains of Ursula's red tide sent here post-haste. Farewell, Gyrus, and happy hunting. The black-scaled serpent man melds once again into the surrounding jungle as your vision returns to you in the pale light of the observatory once again. Take your point of exhaustion.
All right, I'm gonna bite the bullet and take a second point of exhaustion. I'm gonna grab Genus and take a seat.
Sure. Alrighty. As you take a seat and focus on the final orb in the chamber, the space around you is shrouded in verdant green light. Opening your eyes once more, you find you are forced to shield them against a burning light unfamiliar to you, or rather unfamiliar to the person whose memories you are inhabiting. This is the first time you've attempted this successfully since the break in the eternally churning Arcanite storms was created. A sense of excitement begins to well up in your chest, and you can't help but crack a smile at all that could be learned here. When your eyes adjust better to the light above, you can see around you a forest clearing ringed by tall pine trees, and the forest floor littered with their needles. Off to one side, you see a dirt path cutting through the woods, and beyond that, an unfamiliar settlement, or rather, a familiar settlement? A strange mixture of unrecognizability and familiarity here, as your personal experience and the memories of Yurena clash with each other. You waste no time in beginning your walk, taking on a brisk pace toward the buildings before you. Being careful to remain unseen as you approach, you move through the streets and alleys in between buildings, avoiding the sight of the townsfolk as much as possible, but looking out for one in particular. The people living here are of every kind and creed, it seems. Aarakocra, humans, elves, dwarves, and even a healthy population of Minotaur and Ganassi exist, all in this one beautiful, strange place. One building in particular catches your eye as you move like a ghost through town. Again, all at once familiar and unfamiliar to you. What appears to be a library just off the main thoroughfare, its heavy oaken doors open to the public. Quickening your pace, you make your way around to an open window and, with a quick incantation spoken under your breath, float silently inside. There you find rows of bookshelves neatly arranged alphabetically by language, and take in the scent of dust and leather-bound tomes. Shaking your head, you know you should find who you're looking for before you run out of time in this place. Silently, you float up a narrow spiral staircase to the second floor, where, just as you'd hoped, the library's older volumes are kept, along with their curator, an elderly human with skin wrinkled by time and a beard that would put most other wizards of his age to shame. Currently, this elderly man is absorbed in an aged scroll, lost in its words and mumbling to himself under his breath. "Greetings, Egovius Undocian," you say, your tone calm and feminine but forceful in the quiet of a library. "The Black Circle has need of you once more." The old man jumps in his seat at the surprise of your floating figure before him, eyes wide with the fear before a look of recognition overcomes them. "What? Who goes? Oh my! Could it be? Could it be that the masters have finally seen fit to grant me an audience? Oh, what a joyous day this is! Ask of me what you will, spirit. Egovius the Loyal shall answer your call." "Your servitude and faith are well received, child. I would but ask you of your memories only. We have need to know about your protege, who has yet to understand his place among us. Tell us of the Black Hollow, boy." Eager to please, the old man responds, "Of course, my lady. What do you wish to know? It brings my heart joy to learn the Providence survived its journey. Where shall I begin?" You give him a wry smile before you answer, relishing in his worship of you. You'd find it endearing, you think, if it weren't so pathetic. Let's start with the beginning, shall we? Tell us more about his adolescence. Reveal to us the secrets of his genius. Tell us how he summoned the Archmoil. Before the old man can speak, your vision blurs and fades until you find yourself waking from your trance, having returned to your body in the observatory once more, the scent of dusty books wafting around you still.
No. Why did it
Take your second point of exhaustion.
Chance, can I make an Arcana check to wonder why the hell it kicked me out seemingly before the memory finished?
I mean, the memory just ends there. That's as much as was recorded by the device or whatever spell made these orbs. You do recognize the name of your old master, the one who taught you everything you know. And you recognize that name you left behind.
Chance is honestly so angry. It's at the point where his skin is steaming. The kind of inner fire magic that most tieflings have is just raging underneath his skin, and with so much rage in his eyes, he's going to point his hand at the apparatus while sitting there and scream at top of his lungs, shout, "God damn it!" And then I roll like ass.
It's fine. It's still over like 20 points of damage. So, as you scream in frustration, the bolt of lightning raking across the metal and electrocuting the apparatus before you, you see left a pretty decent scorch mark across the end of this thing out of anger. I take it that wasn't a happy memory.
Chance snaps his head to look at the angel, and it's it's very clear as to bite his tongue from spewing the kind of venom that would probably rival the cloud from below.
You definitely see that he has one hand on the sword hilt.
No. Furthest thing from a happy memory I think I could have at this point.
Well, if you're through spewing the wrath of God at the machine here, mind telling us what happened?
It showed... Well... Short version, because some of you are aware, some of you aren't. Providence is... The town of Providence, it's small, but... We were on the Exodus. Originally from before the breaking. I'm certain you're semi-aware of that, being ancient celestial being who was probably around and knew about that happening.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, my people went up, and then we came back down when there once was a break in the clouds within the past year. And
At this point, it's 2 years. It's been 2 years since you've been on the planet.
Well, been about 2 years actually since we've been here. And then Chancel recounts the memory he saw there. And it is very clear he is having to bite back, spewing several curses.
Yeah, vitriol.
That kind of betrayal is not something one just gets over.
So, what you mean to say is you were being groomed from an early age to be a part of the Black Circle, but found your own path, it seems.
Better late than never, I suppose. Now, if it's all the same to the rest of you, I would like to never look at this tower again, so let's leave.
I agree with this statement.
Righty. So, as you gather your belongings and anything else you wish to take with you, being careful to avoid the deadly plants as you traipse back through the garden. Which one of you has contact with the Archmage?
Me.
Fantastic. In a brief moment after you contact him, the Archmage Amas Taldinar appears in the summoning circle at your feet. And
Alright.
after a quick debrief, I'm sure, casts a teleportation spell
Well,
to
before-
bring you
bef-
all back to Rhea.
Slight interruption. Before we leave, can we get him to, help us free that satyr that we kind of promised to do?
Well, I'll leave it up to you. If you want to do that, we're going to run that next time. Because I'm
That'll
gonna end
work.
the session.
Yeah.
So, if you want the Archmage's help with that, I can certainly do that next time. Dragon Ball Z.
Because look, it definitely will not take long for a Wizard of Excalibur to be like, oh yes, dispel magic.
Sure. But in the meantime, it is almost 4, and that's probably a good stopping point for now. We will pick up next week, hopefully, if we have enough people left, with the freeing of the satyr and the return to Providence. So, that's the episode, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. We will see y'all next week. Bye-bye.